School. Congratulations to you, bud. All right, like I said, Radnor High School, you're up next. So text word teacher to 39333 and you can vote. All right, so stupid question. We haven't even done that yet. And we are going to give away a pair of tickets as MMR Rocks John Fogerty with special guest George Thorogood and the Destroyers. This is going to be Friday, June 7th at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. The question is, before being renamed, what was Mumbai called?
What was Mumbai called before being renamed?
Yeah. 215-263 WMMR. And you've all definitely heard of this before. All right. What was Mumbai called before it was renamed? 215-263 WMMR. Going to mention some birthdays today. Being the 20th day of May, it is Mindy Cohn's birthday today. The Facts of Life. Also the voice of Velma on Scooby-Doo, which she was perfect
She's great.
for.
Did it for years. There's a lot of cartoon voices. They just had a Facts of Life reunion with the girls getting together.
Did
and
they?
yeah, it's cool to see that they are friends.
And she's in Palm Royale, which is a great show that's on, I think it's on Apple TV.
What's it called?
It's called Palm
It's the
Royale.
Kristen Wiig show?
The Kristen Wiig show, yes.
Yeah.
It's and she's great in it. I love her character.
Happy 58th birthday to Mindy Cohn. Jack Gleason, who played Joffrey Lannister in Game of Thrones.
So he's an insufferable prick, right?
Oh, my God, yes.
I don't even watch the show, and I know that character is miserable.
Oh, you just want to beat him to death. He is 32 years old today, and he has a horrible death
Does
on that
he?
show. Yeah.
He's a weasel, right?
It's wonderful. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just mean. Tony Goldwyn is 64. The actor appeared in Ghost. He was the bad guy in Ghost.
He was just on the most recent episode of Hacks.
Oh, no
and,
kidding.
The dude is aging nicely.
Well, I haven't watched that
yet.
but I did actually watch Ghost last week.
Well, he is legitimately Metro
Goldwyn?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's his family.
Yep. So he is also Scandal, The Pelican Brief, a lot of other things. Great actor, Timothy Oliphant, is 56 today.
Terrific.
Yeah. He was in Deadwood, Justified. Great movie called This Is Where I Leave You. He plays such a wonderful character in that.
Deadwood is one of the real sore points in pop culture history for me because I love that show. They paused it, came back. It wasn't quite the same. It was like, man, it was so good.
Yep. So he turns 56. Bronson Pinchot, Perfect Strangers, Beverly Hills Cop.
Serge.
He turns 65 years old today. He was also in Risky Business.
Yes, he was.
One of his first roles.
And he's also going to be in the new one, the new Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes, that's correct. They brought back all these great characters. Of course,
coming back, yeah.
This is from Perfect Strangers. And what was his character's name?
Balky Bartakos.
Balky, yeah.
From Meepos.
He is 65 today. Dave Thomas, the actor, SCTV, one of the Mackenzie brothers.
And one of the absolute best.
Yeah, he turns 75 years old today. Speaking of one of the best, it's Cher's birthday today.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Cher turns 78 years old. So
I just watched Burlesque.
I forgot what I saw her recently. So I don't know if she's dating somebody or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I saw some kind of thing.
The dude is like 40 years her junior.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, good for her, right?
That's her. That's the way she rolls.
That's right, man. That's how I roll.
So Cher turned 78 years old today. Busta Rhymes is 52. I'm going to zip through these last few because it's already it's almost 7 o'clock.
I can't believe we have but we have a ton of Busta Rhymes in our musical library, but we got no share.
That's a crime.
It makes no sense.
Jane Weedland of the Go-Go's. Man, did I have a crush on her.
Yeah,
I thought
adorable.
She was adorable. And she was the principal songwriter for the band, although she didn't write We Got the Beat. But she is 66 years old today. And then the last birthday I saw is Ted Allen, who is from Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. He was the food guy. He went on to do the show Chopped on Food Network.
I really like that. I always like that dude.
He turns 59 today. All right, we'll see if you do indeed know the answer to this question before being renamed. What was Mumbai called? 215-263 WMMR. We'll go to Andy. See if Andy knows. Hi, Andy. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
All right, buddy. What was Mumbai called before it was renamed?
Bombay.
Bombay is correct, sir. Yep. Hang on. For Andy. We're giving him a pair of tickets as MMR rocks John Fogerty. The Celebration Tour with special guest George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Friday, September 7th. Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Tickets are on sale now. Via Ticketmaster info at WMMR.
I think I'd love to see John Fogerty. I've never seen him live.
He's full of great music,
Yeah.
sure. All right, so John Krasinski's If debuted at the top of the North American box office this weekend, pulling in a solid $35 million. Kingdom of Planet of the Apes fell to second place. The Strangers, Chapter 1, debuted in third place with $12 million. Ryan Gosling's The Fall Guy was fourth with $8.4 million. And Challengers rounded out the top five with $2.9 million. So I don't know what was Challengers.
The tennis phenom, and there's a lot of
Zendaya.
sex.
That's correct. Speaking of sex, we don't know if that's going on with Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. The rumor mill has been going back and forth on whether they're together or not, but a recent sighting of the two may shed some light on the situation. Ben and Jen were spotted together in public for the first time in a month after they went to see a school play that Ben's kid, Finn Affleck, was in.
This is the kid he has with Jennifer Garner, correct?
I believe so.
I'd like to apologize to Jennifer Garner and her pool boy, Ben Affleck, for incorporating them into my fantasy life.
And they were
I apologize
they
to
were
anyone
keeping
who's been
it
offended
friendly.
by my fictional creations, Chrysagon, the Philosopher of Evil, and the Skull Sealer.
You got to give them points for that because it's something they appear to have been good at, which is keeping things cool for the kids.
Yes. Paparazzi watching the couple, however, noted there wasn't any PDA as far as they could see. You mean they weren't making out at the kids' play?
Use your fingers.
Tell me, is this inappropriate? It will be.
Use your fingers.
This is a school play.
After the play, Ben dropped off Jen at the house. They bought together in Beverly Hills last year, and then he kept on driving. Reportedly went back to stay at the rental that he's got in Brentwood by himself.
So this is going through one of those. We are sort of figuring out where things stand, but I don't see it working out. I think that there is.
Really?
I don't think so.
You're sensing real trouble on the horizon.
I do. I think, and I was hoping against hope because I want them both to be happy because they're so near and dear to me.
There does not seem to be a definitive answer on where the couple
There
stand
will be.
right now. There will be?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. The man accused of assaulting actor Steve Buscemi in a random unprovoked attack in New York City has been arrested. Police arrested a man Friday in connection with the assault 3 days after having released a photo of the suspect. The accused man, who is 50 years old, was arraigned on Saturday. His bail, this is what we have a little more extra details because we did hear about that last week, set his bail, the judge set his bail at $50,000.
He made a public statement, Preston. We have it.
The criminal complaint alleges the man punched two people at the time, but authorities did not name them. And it also says the attack on Buscemi was captured by surveillance video.
SNL did a bit over the weekend about the assaults on character actors, and they had the police talking about this program to help protect character actors walking around New York because there have been a few character actors who've been assaulted, and it was pretty funny. Then John Hamm stood up, and he's like, should I be worried? Well, you're a leading man.
Yeah, you're an A-lister. Don't worry about it. This was sad to see. The great Dabney Coleman, veteran of film and television, known for roles in 9 to 5, Boardwalk Empire, Tootsie, War Games, and more. He was 92 years old.
Was he on Yellowstone as well?
He was on an episode of Yellowstone.
Okay.
Coleman died on Thursday at his home in Santa Monica, according to a statement from his daughter, Quincy Coleman. An Austin, Texas native, Coleman studied law and served in the U.S. Army before pursuing acting as a career. His Hollywood career spans decades, beginning in the early 1960s up until his final credit in 2019 when he appeared on an episode of Yellowstone.
He played he was quite often cast as an authoritative figure. He is a firefighter in Towering Inferno. And he was kind of that good character actor.
He was often cast as a bad guy or at best a lovable jerk. And that included roles in the Academy Award-winning film On Golden Pond, the sci-fi drama feature War Games, and perhaps most famously as the firmly pre-Me Too, highly lecherous boss in the movie 9 to 5. Of course, he starred opposite Dolly Parton, Jane Fonda, and Lily Tomlin.
And on Golden Pond, he was a likable guy who just couldn't. He was trying to work himself into the good graces of Henry Fonda,
Who is just a
prick.
a bastard.
I don't like you.
Yeah, so
Suck it.
Coleman worked extensively in television through the 60s and 70s and often in guest roles. And then he landed on Mary Hartman, and he appeared in the recurring part as a recurring part in the sitcom of That Girl. But he said it was the Mary Hartman show that was the turning point in his career. He broke out in the 1980s, and of course that was with Tootsie and The Muppets Take Manhattan. And then, of course, the other movies that I had mentioned, 9 to 5 and so on.
Two Girls in a Cup.
Other roles included playing Mr. Drysdale in the movie version of the Beverly Hillbillies and the ruthless Commodore in the HBO drama Boardwalk Empire, along his more recent turn in Yellowstone. He is survived by children Megan, Kelly, Randy, and Quincy.
92, good run. Yeah.
Absolutely. Another person passed away. You won't be familiar with his name, but Chris Pratt paid tribute to his late stunt double, Tony McFarr, in a heartfelt message on social media in which Pratt remembered their time together on several movie sets. McFarr was Pratt's stunt double on some of the actor's biggest films, including Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic World franchises. He died May 13th at the age of 47.
How?
They didn't say.
Yeah.
Pratt said, devastated to hear about the loss of my friend and former stunt double, Tony McFarr. We did several movies together. We golfed, drank whiskey, smoked cigars, and spent endless hours on set. I'll never forget his toughness. I remember he took a nasty shot in the head in the title sequence of Guardians 2 and got several staples in his head. Ooh. Came right back to work to do it again. He was an absolute stud. He said he was always a gentleman and professional. He'll be missed. He was a stunt performer in dozens of movies and shows dating back to the early 2010s. He first doubled as Pratt in Jurassic World and followed that up with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and then Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. He also performed Pratt stunts in the 2016 drama Passengers, and he had other stunt credits that included Captain America Civil War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 1 and 2, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. So he was one of these guys that worked quite a bit.
So the YouTube channel I watched, The Corridor Crew, they are special effects guys who examine special effects in various movies. They also have a stunt channel where these guys get together and talk about. You think with all of the CGI and all the stuff that they're doing these days, stunt workers are still, an essential part of everything that goes on.
Yep.
And they often get injured. But it's sad to see this guy, 47.
Yeah, he died at his home outside of Orlando. No cause of death has been given. So
that once upon a time in Hollywood, Preston, that explores the relationship between a star and their stunt double, and that's that's apparently what Tarantino locked into, because there's some legendary Hollywood friendships between the star and their stunt double.
Yeah, and I would imagine, especially earlier in the day, that they would work together a little more closely. All right, on the heels of all that bad news, how about this? Someone has changed their Jessica Biel has said goodbye to her long hair. The actress shocked her fans when she debuted an ear-length bob in a clip posted on Instagram on Saturday. She shared a before and after, showing herself tugging on her long locks as she rocked an oversized T-shirt while sitting on a dressing room chair.
I'm glad you added that she was wearing an oversized T-shirt.
Oh, I have more on what she was wearing. Biel then revealed her fresh cut as she also changed into a chic look consisting of a gray blazer, white shirt, and gold chain necklace.
Oh, so like
very chic.
It was like a whole makeover.
Not like an iron chic look.
Yeah, she put on different clothes. Yeah, the iron chic look would have been cool.
Yeah.
I like the shorter look on her. It's pretty. It works for her.
She's just naturally pretty anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So whatever she's going to do is going to look good. But
some of her followers were convinced that her new look was inspired by her Seventh Heaven character, Mary Camden's short haircut, because I guess she had a little bob as well.
It also helped to look as unattractive as possible around the dad on that show.
Biel also took to her story to share the aftermath of her cut as she showed loads of hair on the bathroom floor. And then she waited to undergo this major transformation until after the Met Gala, of course, that she had walked the red carpet wearing a plunging V-neckline pink dress with feathers and styled her hair down with light waves.
What's the show she was recently on where she was like looked like a kind of a meth head?
I don't know.
She was kind of effed up.
So there was
apparently the performance was really great.
Okay, yeah. There's another one where it's a series,
Yeah.
but each season is completely like a different like time. You know.
Yeah, I think it's that.
Yeah.
What was the name of that case? Do you know?
I wish I could not the Watcher, because I'm telling you, like her character does something in the very beginning of this. You're like, wait, what the hell? Like, I'm going to find out what this
All right.
is.
Okay.
and see
Bleeding
if it-
Heart, is that it, Steve?
It might
That's
be.
not mine.
If she's all methed up, then that's it.
All right. A couple other quick things, then we got to move on to the clips. Last week's series finale of Young Sheldon reached nearly 9 million viewers, making it the most watched episode in 4 years. The CBS show, spinoff, of course, of The Big Bang Theory, concluded with 2 back-to-back episodes. The second to last episode, Funeral, drew 8.8 million viewers, while the final episode, Memoir, attracted 8.95 million viewers, making it the most watched program of the night.
So I stopped watching it after like the third or fourth season, and I went back and watched it was actually, so the 3 episodes, the end of the third episode ends with this news of well, I don't want to give it away, but anyway, it's heartfelt. It's wonderfully done. It's a great coda to the series. Everything resonates as true. And then they have adult Sheldon and Mayim Bialik come back as their adult characters for a wrap-up.
Live viewership of the finale saw a significant increase on CBS's streaming platforms as well. So it did very, very well. Yes, guys.
And so my show, Steve, is called The Sinner.
The Sinner.
The Sinner.
That's it.
And that's with Bill Pullman. And so it follows
But that's
him.
not new, right?
No, the series that she was in 2017.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
I have a couple of stories from the Cannes Film Festival. Audiences on Friday were treated to an extended look at Kevin Costner's upcoming film, Horizon, an American saga. Costner is a star producer, co-writer, and director on the film, which will arrive in 2 parts. Chapter 1 is in theaters June 28th. Chapter 2 then on August 16th. While everyone at Cannes saw the new trailer Friday and the rest of us soon after, the attendees got to see the entire film yesterday and gave Costner and the film a 7-minute ovation.
Wow,
that
that's a
left the
long time to stand.
Actor, director visibly choked up as well. Oh, you think that's long?
Oh, really?
Amelia Perez, a Spanish-language musical drama starring Zoe Saldana, Selena Gomez, and Carla Sofia Gasson, has earned the biggest standing ovation of this year's Cannes Film Festival so far. Gomez was seen wiping away tears as the cast and crew for the film were lauded with a 9-minute ovation.
That's 2 minutes more.
Yeah. Imagine that, though. Think about these long ovations, these 9-minute ovations. That's like longer than Paradise by the Dashboard
Yeah.
Light.
I mean,
That you're
come on.
I'm not going to do it.
That's
this whole
so
time.
long.
I'm not doing it anymore.
Sorry.
My hands hurt.
Yeah.
Go to hell. Now I hate your movie.
So yes, those are movies that we will eventually get to take a peek at, but they're the ones that are getting the big responses at Cannes.
Is Kevin Costner still dating Jewel? Because I know he went to his doctor for snaggletooth burns on his penis.
Oh, I don't know anything
Okay,
about
but
that.
they are an item. That's supposedly the case.
Yeah, I remember hearing that a little bit, but that's kind of, the talk on that has cooled off a little bit, hasn't
Okay.
it? I mean, I haven't heard anything
I
in a
figured
while.
Kathy would be dialed in since
they
he's one of your guys, right, Kevin Costner?
I love him.
Clips.
Yeah?
Mystery. I don't have the...
We don't even have them.
We don't have clips at all.
We don't have clips
That
at
makes
all.
it the ultimate mystery. What
Wait,
would
there's
they have
one.
been? Oh,
What
We got one.
All right.
We
One
got
just
two.
came up.
hey!
Here's our,
Yeah.
all right, here's our first clip. If you know...
You don't.
Okay. I'll roll it
Let's
anyway.
try it.
For one, he has a much, much larger wardrobe. He's got a lot of energy. Very much a doctor of the modern age. He's a little cheeky. He's a little flirty. Certainly no stranger to
I need the
using
name.
his charm to get what
Hold
he
on.
wants.
Okay.
Nakuri Gatwa.
Who is he?
Wow.
Oh, wait,
Doctor
wrong
Who.
button.
Well, Doctor Who. Well done.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
Well done.
I'll accept my award in the parking lot.
All right, here's our next clip.
Oh, wait. I'm ready. And I think everybody is going to get this one.
Oh, okay.
Even me?
Even you.
Okay.
All right, Casey's standing up, getting ready to raise his hand. Here we go.
It's May. You're talking about us airing, they say, 8
Steve's hand went
shows in the fall, but that's November. I'm not going to just sit around doing a countdown.
I
to
rescind
that.
my hand
I'm
raise.
going to stay optimistic because everybody on the show wants to do it.
Oh,
I know.
back up.
I thought it was Brian Cranston.
I know
But
it
it's
is.
Not
probably
wrong.
it.
You're not right.
Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck
Ah.
is.
I thought it was Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
You were
a little
also
bit.
right.
A little bit of that gravelly voice there. So There you go. I don't know what those guys are talking about because I don't have the information, but
Things that are happening in their lives.
these are things
Yeah.
from those people.
These are the people in their neighborhood.
All right, that's it. The entertainment report. I do want to mention this. Is this an announcement or? Well, we will mention this because this is a great big friggin' deal that we have available at WMMR.com for a limited time only. You can get a same day ride and water park ticket to Maurice Piers for just $70. That is a $50 savings per ticket for unlimited rides on 3 piers and both water parks for a whole day.
I am making this the year, since you guys rave on it, that I get over there and experience it.
It's a blast.
As an adult man who has been occasionally on sex lists. No. Is it okay for me to go?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, it is definitely a park or parks that are designed for kids' fun. But like I'm talking about like the water parks, they have places for the parents to go and just chill.
Yeah.
You know, like all right, you go have your fun. We're going to go sit back
So
here.
I bring Claire, my wife, who likes amusement parks as well.
Oh, yeah.
She'll enjoy it as well. Okay.
You get the same day ride and water park ticket to Maurice Piers for just $70. It's $50 savings per ticket for unlimited rides on 3 piers, both water parks, and a whole day. You get it. So go to WMMR.com/deals and you can get them while supplies last, mind you. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a moment. A little later this morning, actor Daniel Stern will be joining us, and this week is all ramping up to Keenan's and our live broadcast in North Wildwood. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Preston and
All right, I'll let it play. Hang on a second.
I wanna ride on the plains of the desert, out west of the Great Divide. I wanna hear the coyotes sing as the sun sets in the west. I wanna be.
Honestly, where is this? Where does this fly? I think if you come in before someone's receiving a lethal injection, it's like.
You might have it.
Before you get the shot, we have a ventriloquist actually.
and they're going to
Give
do
me the shot. Give me the shot.
All right. We haven't even gotten to the yodeling part yet. Hang on.
Oh, there's yodeling?
Yeah, apparently there's yodeling.
All right.
Cowboy sweetheart, that's the life I love the best.
Oh, my God.
At that very moment, half the judges were booking flights to Naples, Florida.
Right. Wow, look at how hot she is.
Super
We're looking
hot.
at that video footage of her now. She's she's a stunner. And that's Miss who?
That is Miss Louisiana.
Miss Louisiana. Okay. Nick had sent me some information about this guy. His name was Xavier Atencio.
And he invented Leopold, the FBI cat?
No, he did not. He was the Disney Imagineer who helped bring to life iconic theme park attractions such as Pirates of the Caribbean and the Haunted Mansion. And he passed away just this last Sunday, and he was 98 years old.
So when I was a kid, for a brief period when I was in third grade, which would have put me, I would have been about 17. We went out to live in California for almost a full year. And going to Disneyland, the Disneyland, there was no Disney World at that time. Those attractions were, you as a kid, you might as well have been transported to another universe.
You couldn't believe it.
It's just mind-boggling. And they just actually sort of re-tinkered Pirates of the Caribbean because of PC questions, but it's still essentially the same ride there.
He also wrote the lyrics to their memorable songs. Yo Ho, A Pirate's Life. He wrote that.
Did he write It's a Small World? No, that's from
he didn't. But he wrote Grim Grinning Ghost that they sing on the Haunted Mansion tour as well. In the mid-1960s, Atencio's career changed course, and Walt Disney called him into his office and asked him to join the Imagineering unit that created theme park attractions. He said, I went over there reluctantly because I didn't know what I was getting into, and nobody there knew what I was supposed to do either. About a month later, I got a phone call from Walt. He told me, I want you to do the script for the Pirates of the Caribbean.
This is a great opportunity, and if you don't do it, you're fired.
And he said he had never written a script before the Pirates assignment. Pirates was the last ride that Walt Disney would directly supervise. Disney died December in 1966, just 3 months before the attraction. It never really opened. He died before it opened.
It's amazing.
But Atencio helped him to experience it in a way. He said, we mocked it up on a soundstage in full size, and we pushed Walt through it. We rigged up a chart.
What am I looking at here?
We rigged up a cart that moved about the same pace
I
that
can't see.
the boat would, and we moved him through.
This hurts my back substantially.
And we had the auctioneer.
Why are you doing this to me?
And we had the auctioneer up here, and he said, what do ye offer this buxom wench? And then on the other side, a pirate yells, 6 bottles of rum, et cetera, et cetera. He said, but it was hard to hear. And I said, I'm sorry, Walt, you can't hear the stuff too clearly. And he said, if you go to a cocktail party, you tune in on one conversation, and then you tune in on that one. Every time they come through, they'll see something new. And I thought, why the heck didn't I think of that? That is Xavier Atencio.
A pirate's life for me.
So he wrote this.
We kindle and char, inflame and ignite. Drink up, me hearties, yo ho. We burn up the city, we're really a fright. Drink up, me hearties, yo ho.
We burn up the city.
Yeah,
we burn up the city and rape the people and kill everyone who won't come along. We slit their throats and throw them overboard and turn them into shark bait.
Yeah, exactly.
Me hearties, yo
Escape
ho.
the children and make them slaves.
The city, we're really a fright. Drink up, me hearties, yo ho. We're beggars and fighters and ne'er-do-well cats. Drink up, me hearties, yo ho. I'm out of the lap and mummies and dads. Drink up, me hearties, yo ho. Yo-ho, a pirate's life for me.
And we're all half crazy because of syphilis.
Drink up, me hearties, yo ho.
The robot, with the mouth. And we're all half crazy because of syphilis.
But you're right. They burned down the town.
Burned down the town and killed the animals and sexually abused the women.
And ravage and don't get a hoot. Drink up, me hearties, yo ho.
Pirate's life. And yeah.
I think that's
The
how the
salty old sea.
I think that's how the first movie ends, with Johnny Depp saying, "Drink up, me hearties, yo ho."
Oh, really?
I think that's the last line
Drink
of the
up me
movie.
hearties, yo ho. Yeah, he's doing that freaking Jack Sparrow impression.
No, he needs to be just Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be? Yeah.
We come into town and rock around and visit the Viper Room. Huh.
I noticed that it's very hard to swat a fly. They move so fast.
Well, I have it kind of down to a science.
I have a theory too. What is yours?
You, in many ways, it's like sex. You come down the back from behind the eyesight, doesn't go all the way back to the back.
Okay.
So that's how I come in for the SWAT.
My theory is, if you're just sitting there and one lands on your leg or something like that,
You ain't gonna win.
You don't move. No,
Right.
I have a way to do it. I slowly will bring my hand into position, and then I will wait and I will watch the fly. And once the fly starts doing that thing with its front 2 little hands,
Yeah.
if it starts rubbing them together, because at first it'll notice your hand and it'll stop.
That's when it gets all greedy.
Freeze and won't move. Yeah. And then when it starts going about its business, it is now not necessarily paying attention to your hand anymore, and then bap, nail them. I'm a fly hater, and I actually keep a scoreboard at my house for dead flies.
That's cool.
Everybody's name is on there.
Notice there's a fly hater too.
And if you get them, you get a hash mark for everyone that you get.
He actually keeps score.
I should have done a prize at the end of the summer, but I never got around to doing that. But anyhow, so here's the deal. This question, why do they move so fast, flies, was put to the BBC World Service crowd science team. And the answer is that, compared to us, basically, they see things that, they see things, essentially what we see in slow motion. So they see the world moving.
This guy's wearing a bucket hat.
Much slower. The speed of time differs depending on your species. This happens because animals see the world around them like a continuous video, but in reality, they piece together images sent from the eyes to the brain in distinct flashes a set number of times per second. And I'll explain that. So humans average 60 flashes per second and flies 250. The speed at which those images are produced by the brain is called the flicker fusion rate.
Flicker fusion rate.
Yes.
Flicker.
And it's weird how they were able to determine this. So, in general, the smaller
Did
the
they
species,
capture a fly and interrogate him?
the faster its critical flicker. They put a light in front of it.
Please, I don't know. I'm so thirsty.
He starts smacking him around.
No. Oh, no, please. Come on. I'm just a fly.
In general, the smaller the species, the faster its critical flicker fusion rate is, and flies in particular.
Critical flicker fusion rate.
Yeah, so Professor Roger Hardy from the University of Cambridge investigates how flies' eyes work and has
It's actually very interesting when you stop and consider it.
And has an experiment to determine their flicker fusion rate. So it's simply how fast a light has to be turning on and off, that's the flicker,
right,
before it's perceived or seen as just a continuous light. So like a flashing strobe light, okay?
Right, so even
and
though
you can tell when it's going off and on, but at some point you can't, even though it is going off and on.
Right.
So what they did is they insert tiny glass electrodes into the living light-sensitive cells of their eyes.
Of a fly's eyes.
Photoreceptors.
How do they do that?
Before flashing LED lights at faster and faster speeds. Each flash of the LED produces a tiny electrical
I
current.
assume ladybugs come in nurse outfits.
In the photoreceptor.
That'd be hot.
Hey, up here, buddy. Up here. Here's where the 10,000 eyes are.
Each flash of the LED produces a tiny electrical current into the photoreceptors that a computer can graph onto a screen. Tests reveal the fastest fly record distinct responses to flickering up to 400 times per second. Yeah, so, but I'm amazed at modern science and the fact that they can actually take something that tiny like that and actually...
How do they get them to sit still to put those things in their eyes?
The chair is very comfortable.
Yeah, it's comfortable. They get a little foot
Well, this
masseuse.
is good. What is this? Oh, my God. Look at this. The feet come up.
And they have them relax. Somebody said that's why electricity cycles at 60 hertz per second, or HZ. Is that hertz per second?
It's just hertz.
Oh, 60 hertz?
It hurts.
God, would you stop it already?
We're morons.
All right. I have a list of things from various magazines of suggestions of what to do.
Is this
fall activities.
local or anywhere?
No, this is just anywhere.
Okay.
But no, these are stupid. A pumpkin spice latte date.
Oh, my God.
Treat your bestie to a PSL.
Wait, what's
a PS? A pumpkin spice latte.
I know.
And
Yes,
spend.
I just wanted to let you know that your list stinks.
How about dinner and a fall-themed movie?
That's ridiculous.
All right, what's
Throw
the-
that list out.
What's
How
a
about
fall
buy
theme
some
movie?
orange crayons and rub it on a piece of paper?
Honestly,
How about wait for them to come in and relax the straps on your hands?
Bake an apple pie together.
Yes.
okay.
What if you're not together? What if you're alone?
How about this? Watch a football game. These are just ridiculous. These are like out of like Allure magazine or
Yeah,
Or
right.
how about look out the window at your neighbor's house?
Honest to God, like somebody actually got paid to do that.
They needed an extra page in the magazine.
Here's a good fall activity.
Walk to the
for
end
you.
of your driveway, turn around, and go back.
From the mind of Preston Elliott, do one of the train rides that are available in our areas. That would be cool, right?
Yeah.
There's one out of New Hope.
That's just all over the place.
What is it?
SEPTA is all over the place.
This is so scenic.
Is that
Hey, man, I'm sorry I pissed on you.
Yeah, especially the houses that live right next to the train tracks. Those are always lovely.
Strasbourg is the one you're thinking of.
Strasbourg.
All right, is that's the best in the area, right?
They have the ghost train. It's like the old style locomotive. That's
No.
out by Lancaster.
And didn't we have a Not Your Average Listener? Was she from?
She was an engineer.
Yeah,
An engineer,
for them. Yeah.
That was cool.
And
That
that
was
one
really
one
cool.
goes for about 40 minutes. From what I understand.
something like that, yeah.
40, 45 minutes.
Most
okay.
of them are like a half, anywhere from like 40 minutes to an hour.
That's still cool.
But
yeah.
case along the lines of what you were saying, and if you're in Jersey, New Jersey Transit.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Does SEPTA
Listen,
go over
it's
there?
not exactly the same.
Thank you very much, Kath. I saw this interesting article, and I didn't tell you guys much about it. And when we were planning on chatting about this, because I wanted to get your reactions from this, I had never even thought about this before. But this was a study that was done, and it's about your inner voice. So if you are reading something,
Okay.
whatever text it may be, do you hear your own voice in your head as you are reading it?
It's interesting you would say that because I'm not sure that what I'm hearing is my own voice. Or if it's I don't know.
But do you perceive as hearing something as you're reading?
No, I don't think I do.
Okay. If you don't, you are one of the people that does not have an inner monologue. So millions, probably billions, according to this article, of people around the world do not hear their own voices or anyone else's in their mind.
Well, then I have constant dialogues going on in my mind.
Okay.
I have constant,
yep.
So, which leads me to be difficult to talk to sometimes because there are 3 conversations going on.
And you'll like start in the middle of a conversation.
And Claire, my wife, has to deal with that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? So so having a better understanding of that has made it a little bit more easy.
My mom is like that. And I will have to say to her, you have to start over. I have no idea what you're talking about. Start from the beginning.
Right.
I tell Rochelle all the time, I'm like, context, please.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking
I don't know
about.
what you're talking about.
What is a sidle and con-con?
I really don't think that I do. I don't have that like. I mean, I guess I don't have conversations in my head.
So if you've never thought about it, it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around it. According to this, it says that for those with an inner monologue, it can be mind-blowing trying to imagine how to formulate thoughts or recall memories without this internal voice going on.
What about
and for
you?
those without an inner monologue, it's just as wild to imagine someone constantly nattering in your head. Oh, I definitely hear. I feel like I'm hearing words as I'm reading them, and I absolutely have little conversations with my ego, and
I walk around the house doing like I do bits, or like I'm or speaking in an accent, and or having things going on in my mind while I start laughing. Which is, I probably should be put in a home, but I mean,
What's wrong with that man?
Yeah, what's wrong with this guy? But that I enjoy that. I enjoy that ability.
So I think if I'm by myself, instead of something like this going on in my head, I would.
So beautiful.
I would like not that, but I would say it out loud. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it happens in my head. I'll verbalize it.
Okay, you'll talk out loud to yourself.
You dumb bitch.
One dumb but beautiful bitch.
And I do that sometimes too.
Yes,
I will
like talk to yourself.
Sure.
Yeah, but you're like, come on, Preston. Like probably on the golf course. How many times do you say,
please.
Come on?
Yeah.
I chastise myself all the time. You are such a dumb mother effer.
Yeah.
All the time.
So here's an example, because you said golf. When I ski, if it's a tough run, like I'll talk myself through it, but I'm speaking out loud because there's no one around me. No one can hear me, or if they are near me, they're not going to.
Skiing. This is a golf course.
No, but like I'm like, you got this. Come on, okay.
Oh,
all right,
do you?
we'll-
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Out
yeah,
loud,
yeah.
out loud.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will do it out loud.
But also, how about thinking about music? Can you like sing a song in your head?
Yeah, but I'll
Just
sing it out loud, or I'll hum it out loud.
Don't worry if it's not good enough for anyone to hear. Just sing.
Sing a song.
Preston. Okay, so there's that point of delineation here where are you singing it in your mind? Are you hearing your voice singing a song, or are you? Okay, Kathy, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't.
You don't hear that. Okay.
Yeah.
I will think of the recorded song that I know.
Yeah.
And have it play off that way, but I also will hear what my voice sounds like when I'm speaking, or other people's as well. It says in this article, whether you live with or without an inner monologue, until the subject comes up, you might not even realize that not everyone is the same. In fact, the lack of an inner monologue was only given a name in 2021. It's called anauralia. So what exactly is it like to live without an inner monologue? Medical student Kristen Carlson shared her experience on YouTube and revealed she never daydreams, sees information like files, and does not endlessly replay conversations that went wrong in her head.
So there's a whole universe. I mean, I have multiple universes going on in my mind. I think the movie Dreamcatcher, Preston, catches a little bit of that. I guess I don't know if it's faithful to the Stephen King source material, but there's a scene literally where the guy is basically moving through the library of his mind, or like Interstellar might be, where you're just where you're like plucking out memories and things like that.
Right.
And so that's how I tend to process it.
Case, do you have any inner monologue?
I don't. I'm trying to follow this conversation. I don't think so. Yeah.
But I will, and I think you do this too, Casey. We replay the conversation. Like if it's a conversation gone bad, and
You definitely do that.
We had maybe would have a different reaction, right? Don't you do that?
When you've had a bad exchange with someone, it will live rent free in your brain for a while, and you'll talk
but
about
that's not
it.
what we're talking about.
It is sort of.
If somebody were to give you a piece of copy like you have in front of you there,
Right.
So that's a mini melts thing. As you read the words, do you hear your inflections? No kidding. Then you don't have that.
No,
so
no.
I
And as
do.
a matter of fact, you were saying like if I'm reading. If I'm reading a book, which is I don't do that very often, I will go pages and like I don't remember what I just read.
Well, yeah, that's
But
the
that's a
too.
little different because
That's
I do the
different,
same
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, okay.
I do too.
All right, so I'm not the only one
No,
there.
no, no.
All right, then I'm also like when I'm reading, I'm not hearing my voice
Yeah.
reading it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I clearly, quote unquote, hear something. You know what I mean? I don't audibly hear it, but in my mind, it registers as voice, as sound.
How often do you hear the voice of comedian Gallagher?
On rare occasions, just rare occasions. So she also, this student described what it's like to read without an inner monologue and admit that she doesn't particularly enjoy it. She said, when I read, I can see this sentence structure in my head. Every sentence has a shape so you can see, and then it also, like keywords will pop up and I can file those away into my concept map. So at the end of reading something, I can have a concept map of the main topic. I don't really understand.
Well, here's
that.
what I'd say is this: if you're reading and you're not hearing your words in your voice, are you at least in your mind seeing the environment? Are you seeing what is being described to you?
I would think
in
so.
the text, right? How else could you enjoy reading?
Well,
If
yeah.
that-
So if you're reading a book, you're like when I read a book, I
like
am
letter T, letter H, letter E.
Well, no, like I imagine what.
Yes.
They're
So
describing.
That's part of it. Yeah, you have to.
But I don't hear anybody there.
You don't hear anybody.
Yeah, see, I will clearly hear characters in my mind if I'm reading something. If someone yells and there's exclamation points
Yeah.
and things like that, then I will hear a louder volume with intensity.
That's really interesting, like to me, because I would be complete opposite. Like it's literally what you're talking about. We're both opposite.
No, I hear it. I hear. Yes, I hear it in my inner brain. Yeah.
I thought everybody read and conceived things in their mind that way, and apparently it's saying almost half of people don't.
If you next tell me that not everyone poops purple, I'm going to freak.
Yeah.
Go to the doctor.
I definitely have an
Kathy
issue
goes, go to the doctor.
with reading and pacing and all that. And it started in grade school. I'm not like dyslexic, but there's definitely something going on there. Do you remember the film strips where there would be a picture and then you would have to read the text and then you would hear like a beep and then they would go to the next one?
I'm not done yet.
I would get so anxious that I wasn't going to be done reading that I just wouldn't even read it. You know what I mean? Like,
F this.
I would see that the words were up there, and I'm like, oh my god, I only have like 10 seconds to read the sentence, and then I wouldn't read any of the sentence because I would be so anxious, and then beep, and then it would move on to the next one, and I didn't.
I think I'm a slower reader too.
Yeah.
Did any of you watch Baby Reindeer?
Yes.
No,
Not yet.
No.
You know how there's text in it in between the scenes?
I have to pause
They're
sometimes.
same. There were a couple. If it was longer, it would flash away before I would get to the end.
By the way, to that point, when producers, if you happen to be a movie producer or a television producer, when you put up your card and you want people to read it, give it a few extra seconds.
Give us a few minutes.
Give it a few extra seconds.
Let me go. Hang on. Evan wants to chime in on this. Hey, Evan, good morning.
Good morning, it.
Good morning to see you, Evan. What's up, bud?
Hey, so I actually just had this conversation with my fiance not long ago. It'll take me longer to verbalize something sometimes because I told her a lot of times when I see I think about have a thought or something like that, I actually see it more as a picture. So I need to figure out how to verbalize everything.
Huh.
So everything is kind of just like an image in my head, and I know exactly what I want to say, but it'll take me a while to actually figure out how to get it out.
So in the process of verbalizing, are you saying you need to see the words in your mind, or?
It'll be something like that, or it'll literally be like a picture, and I have to kind of dissect it. I'm like, all right, well, what exactly is it? Do I want to say here?
Right. Okay. No. But you're able to convey a thought, right? I mean, obviously you just feel that it perhaps takes a little bit longer for you.
Yeah, because like I said, I kind of have to all right, I see it in my head. Now, how do I say this?
Okay. All right.
Interesting. All right. Thanks, Evan.
It's funny you would mention, Preston, the way, like it is kind of weird to think, I just naturally assume that everyone processed the same way, which is stupid because I just figure that's in our DNA, the tools that allow us to exist.
So like when you have an idea that, let's say an idea pops in your head like, oh, don't do that. That's not a good idea. It sounds like I'm hearing those words. Like they're, and so how about you? No? Wow.
Like,
okay.
Like don't play with the wild bear cub.
Yeah. But also, like, my friend has and he's a doctor, a surgeon now, and he has a photographic memory. And, like, that to me is just.
Oh, me too.
What are they,
like, mind blowing.
Like, what do they call eidetic? Is that
I don't.
A kind of like a Mary Lou Henner memory?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
A friend of mine has a
I forgot what
photographic man. I've probably heard the term. I remember. Yeah, Jim.
Yeah, the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same one you were talking about?
No.
But he's a doctor too.
But he's a doctor as well.
Yeah.
And, like, okay, yeah, I want to.
Wait a second. There are other doctors?
There are other doctors, but like I want a doctor who, when I ask him what's wrong, he can just go, close his eyes and flip through a Rolodex. Oh, yeah. That's page 583 of my text and blah, blah, blah.
I can tell you what's wrong. You're annoying.
Wait, who was it? Mary Lou Henner? Who was in
Mary
here?
Lou Henner had
She
that.
has a crazy
That
memory.
was great.
I think it's called eidetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that might be different than photographic, but what she has, I mean, in fact, we're going to have her in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
We could literally just go back to every single time we've ever had her on, and she will be able to. She'll tell you what we were wearing,
in case she was proven right. Well, eidetic memory, also known as photographic memory, and total recall is the ability to recall an image from memory with high precision.
Total recall?
Yeah. Just Mars.
I remember.
Liquid.
You got what you want.
Consider that the divorce.
So this gal who does not have an inner monologue said, I tend to move my lips when I read. So essentially, I'm saying it out loud, but it's not audible. She also said she doesn't visualize settings and just sees the words. People without an inner monologue also often have aphantasia.
Body odor.
Too, which is, it's an inability to form mental images of objects, essentially the mind's eye. How about that?
Okay, wait. So back up because I do something that's there. So when I read a book or something on my computer, I don't move my lips.
Okay.
But when I read news and sports in the morning prior to coming in here, I move my lips because I'm saying it out loud, but you're not. You probably aren't hearing.
But you're also prepping to say it for broadcast as well.
Right.
So that is a common tool. When I read in the morning, my lips don't move, but my sphincter puckers.
Stop it.
Okay.
You're so gross.
So it'll like.
Kristen, this gal says that she said, while those with an active inner monologue and a mind's eye might think having neither could be a blessing, it isn't always. She says that she often can't sleep because she is seeing lists of things to do and needs to get up and write them down. And although she doesn't have that little voice trying to break her confidence, she can still feel anxious.
So, okay. Yes, I can see a lot of anxiety coming from stuff like this. And a lot of this speaks to what your perception is your world. So, in other words, and our worlds may not line up with each other. It's like when you say to someone, well, that's the color red. Well, someone who is colorblind, their world doesn't see that as. So all of these, so the notion that we're all creating little worlds inside of our own brains is true in a very matrix way.
Here's somebody texted and said, I have a pornographic memory.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It's called the highlight reel. Yes.
Spank bang.
Let me go to, let's see. I have Laura on the line. Laura, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Great, Laura. What's up?
So I didn't realize that not everybody did what. Maybe that's why I'm exhausted all the time. When I'm actively listening to a conversation or anything, I am constantly.
Oh, we're losing you.
Hey,
Laura, hang on. Laura, we lost you for a second. When you're listening to someone, you're constantly what?
I'm constantly repeating every word that they're saying, but in my inner monologue.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And why is that?
I have no idea.
Okay.
That is just the way you process. Does that cause a bit of a delay when you're conversing with someone, or is it real time in the moment, no one would notice?
Both. So sometimes when I'm really comfortable with people, I often have longer pauses, and I sometimes do stutter with my words because when I'm listening, I repeat. Like, even when you just asked that question, I repeat it in my head before I answer. So sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's not. But I didn't realize that not everybody did that.
You know what can be annoying in conversation, and there are people out there like this that basically are repeating what you're saying as you're saying it.
Yeah. Thank you, Laura.
It is, but some people, maybe that's the way they process.
That's how they talk. There are people that I have had conversations with.
before.
It's the same thing as always.
Everything.
They say
I don't even know who I'm repeating.
Wait, I was repeating you.
Okay.
A good way to do that, to combat that, is to burst into the song Yakety Yak.
Don't talk. Don't talk back.
Don't talk back.
Let me go to Lee. Hi, Lee. Good morning.
Good morning, Ed. How are you?
Good morning to see you, Lee. We're good. What's up, bud?
This conversation is blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's weird to conceptualize.
The fact that I thought everyone had this. I mean, I want to go in a million different directions with this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm listening to you guys, my head's all over the place. I mean, I have a constant monologue in my head. It's just something I've done within the last few years, I use closed caption now on the TV.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll find myself reading that and hearing the voices of the people. It's just great. I mean, I don't know where else.
Well, Lee, let me ask you this, because as a revelation, because you're so used to it, it's the way you think and process, to try to step back. Like when Preston asked the initial question, I'm like, well, whose voice am I hearing when I hear... But I'm hearing my voice, but you spend so much time it's like muscle memory. It's just what you do. So to detach yourself from it and say, okay, what am I doing when I'm hearing words? It is kind of freaky, isn't it?
I swear to God, I feel like someone in 500 AD that was told that the earth is round. That's
what?
My mind is at right now.
Yeah, no, I know, yeah.
I'm like, I can't believe,
all right, take it in, Lee.
Just pull over and sing Yakety Yak.
Take it in. All right. Thanks, man. We appreciate it. Now, it's a weird thing. Here's a text from me that says, I have an inner monologue, and it is tiring and does cause me anxiety. I thought everyone had this inner monologue. I do also have a photographic memory. Well, it's saying this that about half of the people do and don't, roughly. So that's interesting, and I can see why the inner monologue could, to some people in their particular case, like you said, Steve, it's depending on how you are made up and processed, how it could be overwhelming, how it could be too much, and maybe a mental strain, and one that you have to get some professional help for.
So, yes, turning it to your advantage, and again, so I'm thinking of the scene in, that's how it always relates to movies, Man of Steel, where he's hearing all the voices, and you're hearing all these voices because he has this incredible hearing, that it could be overwhelming. But knowing how to process that, knowing how to use that to your advantage can also be an asset.
There's a quick throwaway line in the movie Arthur with Dudley Moore where he's drunk, of course, and he's sitting there, he's saying something. He goes, wait, who am I talking to? Oh, it's just me. Never mind. And that it can be that way sometimes. Like I will have full on back and forth conversation in my mind, and if you want to get Freudian with it, it's your id and your ego and your super ego and all this stuff.
Yeah.
This push and pull of your consciousness, and it's just you. It's your it's you sorting things out.
Can you effectively? And I say this because I can. Can you effectively, by talking to yourself, rally yourself?
Yeah.
To do something, to change something, to stop a bad habit.
I firmly believe that.
Right. I believe so as well.
And there's and it's almost like a debate that happens amongst a party of one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go back and forth on this whole thing. And it's that's me without question. Let me go to Jonathan. Jonathan, you are on the air, sir. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Sorry to bother you at work.
Now, man, what's up, bud? You've got an interesting aspect about yourself.
So, I'm a high-scoring spatial thinker, which means I can visualize things three-dimensionally rotating in my head like Jarvis.
Yeah.
Is the easiest way to explain it.
Okay.
I'm an engineer, so it really works out in my field. But I also hear different voices when I'm reading things, typically when I'm reading, not when I'm not reading. but I do talk things out loud to myself, and I can rally myself to kind of have the motivation to do things.
So do you find that you are more effective, Jonathan, when you are talking out loud to yourself? In other words, when you're trying to solve a problem, if you're in fact talking to yourself while you're doing that, will you be more effective?
Absolutely, yes. At times, I kind of have to mumble to myself when I'm at work because other coworkers won't really love that. But yeah, I've definitely in my own space and everything when I'm working on things, speaking to myself out loud and kind of walk myself through things definitely helps. I mean, I've got ADHD and anxiety, and that may play a key role to it for all I know.
So the ADHD thing, I'm off the charts on that. I was tested once, but it works to my benefit because that's the way my mind works. So you're a much more precise occupation. Can there be an advantage to having this besides, as you said, being able to think in three-dimensional terms?
Right, it definitely plays a key role because I'm constantly dealing with three-dimensional software or trying to visualize when machines are milling away material and the order of the operations or how to fixture something. So really key components definitely lay into these things of having this pre-thought of all the operations happening.
No, it's a gift. You're obviously meant to do this. Preston, I think of a beautiful mind.
Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah.
When he's seeing numbers, that's how his mind processes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's totally foreign.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have poor spatial awareness, or as far as 3D configuration, shapes, and things like that. It messes with me, and I just give up.
For as crappy at math as I am on that level, three-dimensional, and go, I can in my mind say, okay, if it's on this side looks this way, I can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By the way, Rochelle talks to herself a lot while working on problems. When she's doing taxes at the house, I'll just be like, "What?" She's like, "No, I'm just."
I gotta get a divorce.
Which is always
right?
Saying this stuff out loud at a kind of a medium level.
And if you catch, it'll happen as well with me. And if Claire's doing bills or something, and are you talking to me? And you interrupt the flow? No.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut up! Shut up!
Leave the room now.
Shut up!
Yes. Let's see. I will go next to Christine. Hi there, Christine.
Hey, bitches.
Hey, what, Christine?
Love you guys. So, you guys are freaking me out. Steve, I do exactly what you do, but I'll take it a step further. I'm driving into work. I just stopped before I got on 95 and saw Buck Road. I went bitty-bitty Buck, like Buck Rogers.
Okay.
Somebody says something to me, and I answer back almost like, hello, like Mrs. Doubtfire. Everything is a movie, is a song. My best friend from high school calls me Party in a Box because it's a constant running monologue, just like Steve.
Yeah.
But it's music and movie.
Well, no, the pop culture stuff I clearly get. And let me ask you, sometimes you've obviously been living your life long enough now where you're attuned to it. But it can be a drain sometimes, right? Because your mind is constantly spinning.
Constantly. And I can't do that whole box, beautiful mind thing. Mine's all about people and faces and personalities. But yeah, it's music and movies, and I always got something for somebody. I guess that makes you the hit of the party, right?
Well, and then Christine, if you, let's say that, the Buck Rogers things pops up in your head, and then will that lead you to a train of thought about the TV show a little bit, or down another direction?
I wonder what Gil Gerard's doing.
Yeah.
No, I sometimes don't even know how I got to the back end of the conversation from where I started. But it takes me down a long path. But again, amusing for my friends and family. So.
Right. So you're good in that regard. They love you over that.
Love you guys. Enjoy your summer.
Thank you, Christine. You too. I want to go to a mental health therapist. Yes, we have Danielle who is calling in. Hi, Danielle. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good. We're doing wonderful. What's your profession, Danielle?
So I'm a psychotherapist, and I directly work with depression, anxiety, ADD, ADHD.
Wow.
And what you're talking about is super common. Everybody has that inner voice. And so there's a book called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, who dives into this. And he wasn't a therapist. He's actually like a CEO of a tech company, and he just heard the voice and kind of followed it through, and he ended up writing a whole series of books that I use in the practice with my clients. because it talks about how sometimes that inner voice or that ego can be telling you, oh boy, you shouldn't have said that, or maybe you shouldn't wear that today. It can be an inner critic. And so learning how to separate from that voice to kind of hear that more of that spiritual inner truth side of you, of who you really are, that can overpower that voice and quiet it down.
Well,
so I work with a lot to kind of separate and move forward, and that helps with depression and anxiety.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, and that's people reach out for help like that all the time. But I'm curious. This is a fairly new thing. Maybe you missed the beginning of the conversation, but there is a condition called anoralia, where people do not have an inner voice, where they don't audibly hear something, or even if you're reading something, you know how you will hear your own voice reading those words. And there are some people that, actually a lot of people that don't have that at all.
Oh, that's super interesting.
And that, well, it's fairly current. They just came up with a name for it in 2021. So that's why we got started talking about this. Yeah.
Oh, no, I did not hear the beginning. I'm so sorry. I must.
No. But what you're saying in The Untethered Soul is a book that I've heard mentioned a number of times, for that. In other words, I would ask you this question. So to the people who hear very active voices and are hearing, the inner dialogue and all that stuff, is there a point at which you should perhaps start to become concerned or alarmed, if the voices take a different, obviously if they're compelling you to kill all the kids at Camp Crystal Lake, that's a problem.
That's a completely different story. Yeah,
right.
What we're talking more about is if that inner critic in you is you're putting yourself down and you're not feeling good about yourself, then it's time to kind of reach out for some help and explore that.
Okay.
And see where it is and where the genesis of it and how to move forward.
So for the most part, the voice, your inner dialogue should be something that is helping to bolster you. And if you are becoming overly critical of yourself, that's when you may want to talk to someone.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Take
it. Like if you hear that voice saying, go ahead, have that piece of banana cream pie.
Yeah. Listen to that voice.
Listen to that.
How was it?
Oh, my God. Casey bought the Costco banana cream pie that we talked about last week.
This thing is the size of a manhole cover.
It is fan-frickin-tastic. It is.
Yeah. Did anybody try any yet?
Not yet. No.
Oh, man.
I did.
I have to wait till Ramadan's over.
Against my better judgment, I went in it because I didn't want to eat something. I didn't want to eat pie in the morning, but it's fantastic.
You going to have it for lunch, too?
Wow. I might. But going back to this real quick, when you're having a moral dilemma or a decision needs to be made, and you're considering something, there's no voice in there.
There's no actual voice.
Are you
thoughts.
Okay.
Just thoughts.
Okay. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Because I process them as sound.
So do I.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I guess
but I bought the premium package.
It's fairly common either way to hear it or not. And we just happen to, you and I, Steve, are the ones that hear it. Casey and
I wonder
Kathy are the
which
ones
is
that don't.
better, if one is better than the other.
They didn't make a case for which one is better, but I would assume, honestly, you're not long for this world.
Well, here's someone, it says, it's hard to imagine, and it works both ways. Here's someone says, when I hear other people have a constant kind of dialogue and stream in their head, and that when they're doing a task, they'll be thinking about things the entire time they're doing a task, it actually kind of feels a little overwhelming. How do you deal with that, and what does it feel like? And so this gal said how she became aware of the idea of an inner voice was through the show Lizzie McGuire.
Of course, that's where it all begins.
Well, but on that show, there constantly you would hear like this, and I know you don't have your reverb, Steve, working right now, but there would be like a reverb voice that would be saying, talking to herself, essentially. She said, I always thought it was something that people just manifested and made up for movies and books and characters just to explain your inner thought process. I didn't realize that it was actually that constant for people, that people did actually have a little kind of voice in their head telling them different things and what to do and what to think. And while for those without an inner monologue, life is completely normal for them, if hard to comprehend for others, there can be downsides. So this person says, I can be blunt and I can have no filter. Sometimes I say things I shouldn't say. People often know what I'm thinking because I will say exactly what I'm thinking.
Like, you dumb bitch.
Yeah, you dumb bitch.
So I wonder this as you're spelling that out there, Preston. Is that if you have a constant dialogue going on, are you less inclined to talk a lot when you're around other people because you've already been talking a lot in your mind?
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
So maybe someone who is, I don't know, not shy, but, I'm talked out, in other words. Excuse me.
On the upside, she says she can, however, easily block out negative memories or thoughts. So
Yes,
that's
yes.
kind of an upside from that. So I just thought this was fascinating.
Well, you're twisting a lot of melons.
Yeah.
A lot of people reacting.
Yeah.
And they're employing the yakety yak method, which is I'm glad to see.
Yeah, whatever you can use to cope with it, I think that's worth it. No, but it's called anauralia.
Yeah.
And it's the lack of inner monologue. But they said, possibly billions of people around the world, it's not uncommon, but people haven't really thought about it much.
We talked to a therapist just a couple calls ago who this is the first time she's hearing of it. So, yeah.
So
it's hot
anyhow,
off the presses.
We got a lot of other people on hold, but we don't have time to go to everybody because we do have to take a break. But talk to your friends and see who's got it
And
who
your
doesn't.
dentist.
And
Yeah,
your
yeah.
dentist. It's always a good idea to visit your dentist. All right, we need to take a break. Not before I mention the fact that Radnor High School in Radnor, Pennsylvania, you guys are voting for the coolest teacher of the year. Text word teacher to 39333. We'll send you the voting link. We had a coolest teacher we spoke to earlier this morning from Paulsboro High School, Vito Mazzeo, and he won, so you can join the ranks of him if you're a cool teacher from Radnor High School. We're going to take a break. We'll get to some bizarre file stories when we return, so stay with us.
But the buses are always a blast.
This also says have a fall photo shoot.
Oh, I'm doing that.
What? Who put this together? Sling Blade?
We're doing a family photo
I got some
shoot.
great ideas for autumn.
No, don't make fun of that one.
Go outside looking out there, there are raccoons out in the field.
So you're doing a fall photo shoot?
Yeah, we're
Family
doing
photo shoot?
it, Steve, on Forbidden Drive.
Yes, it'll be. I'd love to. Forbidden Drive is close to me. Huh?
Actually, that's a good idea.
Do you want to bring us hot chocolate in the morning?
I will absolutely with spice latte. SP. What is it?
SPL.
PSL.
PSL.
Look, I brought some SPLs.
SPL.
Look, I brought some Silent but Deadlies.
Yeah.
Pumpkin spice latte.
I brought some SPLs.
What did I say?
Silent but Deadly. SPDs.
DVD.
I brought some DVDAs, everybody.
PSLs is
And lube.
Just replace
DSL is something very different.
Yeah.
What?
All right, hang on.
Just say the letters. The letters aren't profane.
No, but I'm just saying.
You
well,
won't
you know what
know.
DSL, right?
Oh, yeah.
But a PSL.
D-sucking lips.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now you're P sucking.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank
Okay,
you.
guys.
We used to say
It's a
DSB,
little bit-
deadly sperm buildup. If you hadn't gotten laid in a year.
Oh.
Yeah. I have
That's
DSB.
here.
man.
Where's that taking
My
place?
pupils are white.
We are all. This is.
We are.
This is.
This is it.
We're
These are
off the
fall
rails.
activities.
We are off the rails.
I just want to know when
Yes,
you're
I'm
doing.
interested in where the DSL is taking place. I believe I qualify.
I definitely qualify.
Romano, ROMANO.
That was my nickname, by the way.
What?
Are you kidding?
Shut up, DSL.
My girlfriends would call me that. Yes.
Wow.
How ironic.
That is.
No, I wasn't actually using.
I
them
know.
for that,
That's the
but
definition of irony. It's. Oh my God.
It does, yeah. That's like talk about Sling Blade. That's like nicknaming him the Brain.
Right.
Hey, genius.
DSL.
That's funny.
Wow, we still find things out about each other after all these years. So the Warner Brothers movie A Star is Born remake is pushing its release to May 18th, 2018 from September 28th through
Why is that?
2018. You know what? They don't really give a reason why, but they're moving it up.
This is Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga.
Yeah, exactly. Cooper plays Jackson Maine, who discovers a talented unknown named Allie. That's Lady Gaga. Her eventual fame puts a strain on their romance, and previous versions include the 1937 film starring Frederick Mark and Janet Gaynor.
And the one with James Mason, where I played Norman Maine.
Yeah, in 1954.
Judy Garland's Esther Blodgett.
Yes, James Mason and Judy Garland.
It was the first time. It was a musical version, and that was the first time.
It was a musical?
The original was not.
Oh, okay. Like they sang.
They sang. There were songs sung.
But did they sing?
Often.
Did they sing dialogue to each other, or was it just songs were in it?
There were songs performed.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank
right.
you, Mr. Mason. And have some Thunderbirds.
Yeah, thank you. When
Yeah.
friends stop by unexpectedly, I break out the Thunderbird and beef jerky.
Beef jerky?
Absolutely. Okay. And everyone leaves with a small Tupperware container full of taco dip.
Oh.
That's how we roll at the Mason house.
Do we still have the Thunderbird? See if you can find that audio. Look up James Mason and Thunderbird, which was basically Thunderbird is like the malt liquor that you'll find, discarded bottles of in
alleyways.
And here it is. Yes.
I like the unusual flavor of Thunderbird wine. It's an exceptionally good drink for every occasion. Thunderbird has an unusual flavor all its own.
Unusual flavor. What I imagine perhaps a sloth seminal fluid to taste like.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
That's unusual for sure, as I'm only guessing, having not ever gone down on a sloth. Unusual for sure.
Nobody's ever said that.
Oh my God, I'm wheezing like crazy. Oh.
Not quite like anything I've ever tasted.
Actually, physically sticks in my teeth, which you don't find in most liquids.
I suggest that you try Thunderbird. It's really delightful.
Best way to get rid of unwanted friends.
This is peak lazy. Walmart has revealed it is testing a service in Silicon Valley that delivers groceries straight into customers' refrigerators.
They'll pack your fridge for you?
Yep.
They'll pack your ass, Preston.
You moving? Bend over and I'll pack your
All
ass
right,
for
is
you.
this because,
Help you pack your ass.
Amazon, you have Amazon, is like pantry or whatever, and then Amazon Fresh, where they deliver it to your
How about
doorstep?
Amazon Rectum, where they actually feed you the food and then push it through your...
Oh, dear God.
Yeah.
So the problem we have with the Amazon Fresh isn't really anything except for the fact that when they pack the frozen food and the perishable foods, they have ice packs to keep it fresh. Now we have 70.
You don't have to
we
keep
have
them.
70 ice packs.
You don't have to keep them.
Right?
You
Do
can
you know what?
actually throw some of them out
If
if
you
you
can,
want.
drop them off at retirement homes. They love to play with them.
Wait a minute. So you feel obligated to keep them all?
Well, all right. So they did come in handy for the shore this past summer.
I keep a couple of them.
Yeah, we kept a whole bunch in the freezer. So when we would take a cooler down to the beach or whatever, but
can't you return them?
I guess you
No,
could.
it's just plastic with
hang on.
water in it.
Oh, all right.
It's not.
By the way, what is it just plastic with
No,
water in it? Because
it's-
those things stay frozen for days.
No, yeah. Poke one open, drain it out.
Drink it.
Drink it.
Drink it.
No thanks.
And then
Yeah.
no, I'm saying if you want to get rid of them, and then throw it in the recycling.
But my
it
point is I don't
airline
think-
employee semen? Isn't that what it is?
I don't think it's just water. I will bet you.
Oh.
What?
That would be a great idea.
wait a
I
second.
will bet you
Ooh.
a shopping spree
Oh.
that it is more than just water. What do you mean no?
Make it more interesting.
Well,
Shopping
what
spree.
does
I want your ripped shirt.
Yeah,
Oh,
complete the
You want
rip
to
on
wear
your
it.
shirt.
Back.
Rip
With
it
the
all the
underpants
way
Let
down.
me rip
right
the
now.
rest of your shirt.
Yeah.
And you got a bet.
We now rip it below knocker level.
You have to puncture them first, right? You can't
No.
just throw them away full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that too much effort?
Did you say yo? Or did you say no?
I said yeah.
yeah.
Yo.
Okay.
I said yeah.
Yo, buddy.
Yo.
Anyway, yes, we started hanging on to a few of those as well, and then what am I doing? And I just started throwing them away. So.
I'm done with the code I wanted to make out of these.
All right, hold on.
What?
We may
Breaking news?
No, it's not. No, it's not breaking news. Don't do it.
Too late.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
A lot of texts are coming in
Breaking news. Do.
saying that they've opened those things up, and there's all kinds of blue stuff and sticky and
Oh my gosh.
things inside of it.
Kathy, where's he going to take you?
Where are we going? Saks, Preston, right after the show.
Sex?
Sex right
Sex,
after
yeah.
the show. Wow.
Sex after the show with Kathy.
Here's another one. So it says the packs say on it that you can cut them and empty them down the drain.
Oh. Well, I don't read things.
Here's somebody says I'm the owner of Amazon. The fluid is from aborted babies.
Oh, good God.
Another level.
I don't know.
That's not funny.
But what see? Now you may be thinking about your service. Is yours from Amazon?
No, mine's HelloFresh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do.
Hello, Fresh.
Blue Apron. I want to go to this call on the line real quick, and then we're going to take a break in just a moment. So I'm going to go to Harry. Hey, Harry, how you doing?
Good. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good. What's up, bud?
Hey, most townships have a thing like once a year or so. They call it, one of the names they use is called Clean Sweep.
Yeah.
And if you have paint cans or drain cleaner or something like that you don't want any kind of chemical like that.
Household hazardous waste. Yeah.
Yeah. You could take it there, and most of them don't charge you anything for it because they just want you to get rid of it safely.
I got to look for that because I have a whole bunch of paint cans I'm looking to get rid of. I have all the stuff
Terry.
from my meth lab I'm looking to get rid of. Yeah.
No, I have a ton of stuff that I need to throw
And you never
out.
know, and you don't want to like battery acid or you know what else? I have a lot of those old kerosene, not kerosene, those old the fuel for the little
Oh yeah.
barbecues. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the,
little containers,
propane tanks, right?
the mini propane tanks.
Go to your trash provider or trash, whatever you want to call it.
Trash provider.
Not your
I
trash
did
provider.
get my trash delivery this week. I'm sitting here without any garbage. Everyone looks like they're far more.
Your disposal provider.
Where is my trash delivery? I put the cans out at the curbside. I'm waiting. Everyone else has their trash. Do you want me to look like an idiot?
Sorry, sir.
What am I paying for?
Do you want general trash, or do you want like hobo trash? Do you want the classic fish bones and flies, or do you want?
We go with like large,
Boxes, styrofoam, stuff like that would be fine.
Yeah.
Shredded paper, something documents that made me look important.
All right, sir.
Sorry for the confusion.
We are the nation's number one trash provider. Anyhow, if you call it your trash service, or go on their website, it will tell you how you can go about disposing of household hazardous waste.
I always forget to do that, so you end up with 45 cans of old paint in your house.
Yeah, that's true. If you're just tuning in, it's Michael Cudlitz who is here with us.
The earlier roles, you have 90210. You're also in Dragon the Bruce Lee story, right?
Hey, Chinaman, teach us those moves.
Wait a minute. You were in that scene?
Yeah, he's one of the.
I am that scene.
Wait, where
I'm Bruce Lee.
No.
Dude, you were phenomenal.
I'm amazing.
You looked Asian. You looked Asian.
Wait, when he was in the going to college and he's training in the.
I represent the man.
Okay, I have to go back and I've seen that movie a bunch of times.
But
you were very forgettable in it. I'm sorry.
Thank you. What's the show again? What do you guys do? When does this air? Is this on? This will be on TV later, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
But listen,
radio. They still do that?
We're huge in Lakewood.
I know nobody's there, so I couldn't tell you. I'll go back and see what's going on.
Listen, I got on board with The Walking Dead very, very late. It was I didn't start until the 6th season, then I watched every day. And in fact, it helped me out. It actually helped me lose some weight because I made a decision that I got it on Netflix. And I'm going to watch. The only time I'm going to watch it is when I'm exercising. So it became my appointment to exercise. I could only exercise when I was watching Walking Dead. I could only watch Walking Dead when I was exercising. It was actually a really cool thing to do. So I became a huge fan of this. I've gotten all the way up to the end of season 6. And then it stopped on Netflix. It ends.
Oh my god!
And then I had to wait because I couldn't go watch the current. I had to wait until it came back around. So that just recently.
And we kept you protected. We kept you in the
Nobody
dark.
told me anything. And Casey says, "Listen, before Michael comes in, watch the first episode of season 7."
He's a giver.
He is. I didn't watch it, but I read on my little prep sheet a little spoiler alert. So I found out today, man. I'm sorry.
All right, it's okay. I may or may not come back by the end of the season.
There's always flashbacks, man. And
no,
maybe,
last year. She's over here going, no, end of season 7.
I mean, even now, there's still some people who are not quite sure what happens to your character.
I know. Well, yes, and that's the thing where where does that line drawn? Where you can't talk about that.
Yeah,
bro, it's like
come on, dude.
It's been a year.
Yeah.
We get to talk about it. Abraham's dead. Dead. Okay, if you're listening in your car and you're driving your kids to school, Abraham is dead. Not only Abraham is dead, then they kill Glenn.
Yeah. Oh, and that was
You're
pretty
right.
brutal
There needs to be an expiration date.
Like a
Right.
come
You know
to
what?
Jesus moment.
Yeah.
In fact, there should be, like in the Hunger Games, an announcement across on some universal PA system.
Yeah.
Okay, now we can talk about it.
For some reason, the final scene in the end of season 6 stuck with me for a long. I thought about it every single day, just because it was gripping, and obviously it was you don't know who's on the receiving end of the bat, and I just. I don't know why, but every single day, at least once a day, I would just think Negan, bat, head, and that's
Who is it?
Who is it? And it wasn't.
And we all thought it was gonna be Maggie. Let's beat up the sick pregnant lady.
Yeah.
Right, network television.
To me, it
Oh,
didn't
look
matter
at
who
him.
it was. I just knew that somebody that I had cared about for a few years was going to be gone, and I had preferred it to be Eugene, but it was.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was hoping for that.
That annoying bastard.
The reaction. I'm a fan of the show too, so I was kind of like a little part of me was pissed off that they did us both at the same time. But it's kind of brilliant too because it's so brutal, and it is that reminder that Kirkman always says he wants to constantly remind the audience that it's a dangerous world that we're living in. It's not Star Trek, where Captain Kirk always in danger, but that's okay because he'll be on next week.
Exactly.
It's like, no,
exactly.
he may actually blow Captain Kirk's head off this week.
Yeah,
and that changes the whole viewing experience.
It does.
And I would argue that these two deaths were not actually any more violent than anything we've seen on the show, but you don't care about any of those other characters.
That's a good point.
About these characters,
because other characters have been ripped apart.
Oh, Noah got it nailed in the revolving door up against the glass, getting ripped apart. We've had people literally holding their guts, going, "What? I don't." Jeez. I mean, there's been some really nasty, awesome visual stuff.
I think for me, I got to the game a season late. It might have been 2 seasons late, and for me, it was because I didn't want to watch a zombie show. And
that's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, we got some stories for you in the form of the Bizarre File, so let's do that.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
This morning it is brought to you by Sequoia Outback. You can shop the Memorial Day sale now and get inspired as you cruise through 3 floors of decking, pavers, outdoor furniture, and umbrellas, and fire pits. Route 309 in Hatfield. We will start with this in Florida. A farm worker picking bell peppers was bitten in the thigh when a 9-foot 4-inch agitated alligator crept up on him, launched, and bit him in the thigh.
Whoa.
Ender Esquivel grabbed the gator by the nose and it let go of him, but it was preparing to make another lunge. In that moment, it let go, he said, and it wanted to bite me again, but in that moment, I jumped and distanced myself from where he was. He said his instinct and adrenaline must have kicked in because all he felt was that it bit him and that it shook its snout to destabilize and throw me. He said his quick action may have saved his life.
A lot of people don't realize, they can jump.
Yeah. The incident happened by a canal in the pepper fields. Esquivel was bitten out of the water near thick brush along the canal because gators are ambush predators. They like to grab their prey and then drag it into the water. Esquivel's coworkers pulled him from the area and called the supervisor. He was taken to a nearby hospital, non-life-threatening injuries, but the sheriff's office called it a, quote, significant injury with puncture wounds.
So he repelled it by doing the old I've got your nose trick.
Yeah, got your nose.
Got your nose.
Esquivel said that it was his first time being bit by an alligator, but it's common to see alligators there. He had spotted the one in question a long way off, but didn't think much of it.
He says that every day he sees alligators, all the time, all throughout the day.
He said that he noticed it had come closer about 20 minutes before the bite, but he kept picking the peppers anyway. Yeah, so he's lucky. All right, this is pretty messed up, whoever's doing this, but canned food has been raining down from a high-rise tower in Portland, and nobody knows who the culprit is for the particularly dangerous shower of tin cans. Cans have been smashing down onto the streets below the 23-story Ladd Tower, and it's been happening for weeks now.
They can't figure this out?
No, and local residents have become increasingly concerned over the potentially deadly consequences.
There's no security cameras?
Workers at the neighboring restaurant say that they have been recently noticing cans being thrown out of a building and crashing down beside them, sometimes barely missing them. The cans have already damaged the car of one employee at the restaurant, Lauren Ellis. The roof of her vehicle was dented after she found cans, including an obliterated tin of ravioli, laying around her car after her shift. There have been some really close calls with some of their employees and other pedestrians wandering down the street. The police say that the person is most likely occupying an upper-level apartment in the 23-story tower, but it is very hard to pin down exactly what unit that would be from, so they are asking the public's help And they're asking anyone who may know the identity of the person to contact them.
Maybe we should talk to lots of cans, Kevin.
Even if they were to go door to door conducting interviews throughout the building, which they say remains an option, most people do, in fact, at least own 1 or 2 canned goods. It's
true.
Making investigating
Everyone's
this
a suspect, yeah.
increasingly difficult. So they have not figured it out, but it's been going on for weeks, and somebody's going to get killed, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Here is a follow-up story from last week. 8 suspects have been charged with the kidnapping of an Algerian man who was held captive for almost 30 years in a cellar just meters away from his family home. Omar bin Amran disappeared 27 years ago when he was a teenager. We told you this last week, obviously, but his family was shocked to discover he was held nearby the entire time in a home, in a hole inside a neighbor's sheep pen. His family searched for him years across the country, even appearing on TV to appeal for info on his whereabouts, but eventually they gave up hope and assumed that he'd been killed in the civil war, which rocked the region at the time. Omar is still under therapeutic and psychological care at this minute.
Of course.
And he told relatives that he was unable to escape because he was under a spell of some sort.
What?
Magic.
His relative said, even when we asked, why didn't you shout out or try to resist or leave the house and so on, his answer was very simple. He said, literally, I was not able to even speak or even walk. Footage of his rescue shows a disheveled and bewildered-looking Omar looking up from to his rescuers. He reportedly told family members that he used to see them passing by the stable that he was captive in, but he was unable to contact them because he believed himself to be under some sort of black magic spell cast by his abductor.
If someone believes hard enough, it can have that effect.
When Omar went missing, his dog reportedly pined for him outside of the neighbor's home for weeks before allegedly being poisoned by the captors in an attempt to ward the family off. A judicial investigation has been opened against a man suspected of kidnapping, luring a person, detaining a person, as well as human trafficking. The secondary suspects in the case were charged with abetting.
Well, that guy, for all intent, he might as well have murdered the guy because he robbed him of decades of his life.
Yep, exactly. All right, a shocking video has captured a wild bull goring and trampling a tourist on a beach in Cabo, Mexico recently, despite bystanders begging her to get away from the beast.
Oh, I saw this video.
Yeah, the unidentified woman was seen face-to-face with the bull under her tent.
She was feeding it.
Feeding the aggressive animal from a bowl instead of trying to get away from it.
Come on.
As onlookers yelled warnings like, you're not doing us any favors, the tourist continued provoking the bull.
You are stupid.
Which eventually charged and struck her multiple times with his horns, tossing her in the sand. Thankfully, a brave woman threw water at the rampaging bull to scare it away and allowing the tourist to scramble to safety. Local officials warn that while livestock roaming beaches is common due to nearby ranchers, beachgoers need to be careful around these animals.
He attacked her. I'm surprised she was.
A bull.
She got up and walked away. I was surprised that she was able to. I mean, he went after her.
Yeah, they're big animals, and if they have made up their mind that they want to, mess with somebody or something.
Also right by the thing's face.
Yeah, what an idiot.
We're watching the video of it right now, and she's going to get. I haven't watched it yet, but she's going to get tossed all over the place.
This would not have happened if she had one of those carts that you guys bring to the beach.
That's right.
Yeah, you could put that between you.
You probably could.
Phoenix Beach Buggy.
Yeah, that thing would easily hold off a 1,500-pound bull, I would think.
Almost hear the bill going, you like that? You dumb bitch.
Yeah, she's getting her ass kicked. He's driving her into the sand, so she's lucky to live. All right, one last story. A Canadian influencer found herself in hot water after allegedly attempting to have her identical twin sister cover for her at work.
That's great.
So she could take an unauthorized vacation. Ari Chance.
Someone saw the Parent Trap.
Who frequently shares unique experiences of being a twin with her sister Noe on their popular TikTok account, claims that her boss caught wind of the scheme after Noe posted a video from Ari's job detailing the, quote, Parent Trap-esque switcheroo. However, Ari then shared what she claims was an irate email from her manager condemning the unacceptable and shocking stunt as a slap in the face to colleagues in the company, signing off the email with disappointed regards.
By the way, I slept with your boss.
Though some of the followers didn't believe Ari's story, others commented and said, disappointed regards is my new favorite signature. So there you go. That is what I have in the Bizarre File for you this morning. All right, we will take a break here, but a reminder, we are ramping up to the climax of the week and the beginning of the season as we are headed to Keenan's in North Wildwood for live broadcasting the official opening of the Jersey Shore.
Weather's looking good.
Brought to you by Coors Light. And, oh, yeah, you know what? Real quick, before we move on, I want to congratulate our last VIP winner. We got loads of entries, and we want to congratulate Monica Cloak from Mullica Hill. She was the online winner of our final Keenan's Cut the Line prize. So she gets a reserved booth, Cut the Line passes for she and 3 guests, and also a bucket of Coors Light for the table and a case of Coors Light for the beach house. And that's all from Coors Light, so you can choose chill, and you get the details at WMMR.com.
Excellent.
Oh, and real quick, I'd also want to throw this chart out. I got a couple of them I'll do in a bit, but I wanted to mention this. This is from Edward McMahon. Ed McMahon, who is an EMT. He said, hey, guys, this May 19th to the 25th is National Emergency Medical Services Week, celebrating the EMTs and paramedics that serve all our communities. And I was hoping for a juicy shout-out for the 3 EMS agencies that I work for and all the EMTs and paramedics I work with. Those agencies are, what is this?
It's a night show.
Oh, it's a night show. Those agencies are Laurel Lake Fire and Rescue, Palmyra Ambulance Association, and National Event Services. So a shout out for those 3. And he said between the 3, they keep me working between 70 and 80 hours a week.
Wow.
And I love it.
That is crazy.
Every minute of it. He said, Gadzooks and call before. You dig? EMT Edward McMahon. So there you go. And thank you. All emergency workers.
Yes.
And you definitely deserve the accolades. We are going to take a break. We'll come back in just a moment. Hang out with us.
That this is it's not a horror show. And I didn't realize it until I was probably about halfway through the first episode, maybe the second episode, because I kind of watch horror movies with my hands over my eyes. And I realized that I didn't have to do that. And then I realized that the zombies are a background almost like the trees are. You know what I mean? And it was really all about the relationships between these people and, you know, what that type of situation will do to a person.
Yeah, turn into when there's a overwhelming crisis, you know.
Well, it's like if you had a chance to rebuild society, what would you do?
Yeah.
You know, if
A
you
feudal society?
you had
or-
and how would it fail? What are the same mistakes you would make?
Right.
You know, even though you think, oh, this time we'll do it different. You know, and you see through the show, you know, that absolute power does corrupt, absolutely. And you see people change, and you see people make mistakes. You know, the show's very human.
I want to ask you, how much does the Talking Dead series add to the fandom of this show? Because the
show's a very emotional show. You get very connected to the characters, and horrible things happen to them, and then you're left home alone with that. And this is a way to, I think, share what you're feeling, to sort of know you're not alone. And you know, Chris has described it as the warm hug after the show, and you know, we laugh at that, but I think it is. You know, you get to process the show. You get to hear what other people thought about it. If you were, maybe you think, well, I think he or she is feeling this, or they're going through that, and then you hear people talk about it, and you get to sort of bounce your ideas off their ideas. So it is an extension in a way of the sort of the social media of it all, and that I think we like. I mean, we like that interaction. We like, you know, knowing we're right or wrong, or you know, being not necessarily corrected, but sort of like, what happened there? And if somebody talks about it, and that is what happened there, you know,
it's brilliant.
It's great. Yeah.
Michael, I wanted to ask us. I know you've voiced some characters in Call of Duty. They have a new World War II game coming out. Steve and I are massive fans of the World War II. I know they've spanned all kinds of different campaigns and so forth, but my favorites have been the one in the World War II. Did you voice any in that particular
nothing
game?
recent. I've been out of town for the last 4.
Okay.
Is voice acting for a video game a much different animal? Is it? We always hear it's sort of weird because you're kind of just freelining it, and that's it.
You're like, basically, this is a session, except you do it for 2.5 hours. Reload! Reload! Over here. Over there. Under there. Under here. Behind the tank. Behind the Jeep. For 2 days. 2 days.
2 days of that?
Yeah, and that's like, I wish I was kidding.
Yeah.
I wish I was kidding.
So with the cutscenes, at least, you have a little bit of...
Yeah. Reload! Can't use that one.
Reload.
Reload? That's great.
Yeah.
What? No, it wasn't great.
Great to have you here. Thanks, man.
Thank you, guys.
Michael Cutlets, guys. It's here for Walking Dead. 93.3 WMMR. Visitor to Oktoberfest noticed a man slumped over at a festival exit with a baby attached to his front on Thursday. As the tourist slowly fell to the side, the anxious man took his baby from him. And Oktoberfest is the largest beer festival in the world, attracting a global audience for its mixture of strong beer, traditional Bavarian food, and fairground rides.
You know who went there this year? Matt Cowper.
Oh, yeah?
Said it was sick.
It must have been sick. That's one guy who was there. He was getting sick all over the place.
His baby was there and he was getting sick. It took a lot of people got sick because they drank too much and they got sick.
Organizers expect visitors numbers to hit 6 million again this year. That's crazy.
Cowper said that there are, what it basically is gigantic tents, benches, and that's it.
Yeah.
Drinking.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And people getting sick.
And people getting sick.
Yeah. How many million?
6 million.
Million sick people.
What was that again?
6 million sick people.
Sounds sick. All right, and then we'll do one more story. Man, this is wild. Amazing pictures from the Arctic show an army of more than 230 polar bears feasting on a washed-up whale.
We will control the humans. Our time has come.
After a bowhead whale became stranded and died on Russia's remote Wrangel Island, the extraordinary sight was witnessed by tourists on an Arctic cruise.
Look at all those suckers.
Yeah, a source at Wrangel Island Nature Reserve said there were at least 230 polar bears, including single males, single females, mothers with cubs, mothers with cubs, even.
Where are you from? Oh, wow. You've got a Russian accent. Yeah, that's great. Do you like whale? Well, let's go over and have a bite.
You can tell her about that time you went to Oktoberfest.
Yeah, it was sick. Everyone got sick. We were eating blubber and drinking beer, and everyone just got sick. What's my name? Cowper Bear.
It's a big singles. It's a big polar bear singles mixer.
You kidding me? It was, there were single males, single females, mothers with cubs, and even 2 mothers with 4 cubs each.
MILF bears. Sick.
Cowper bear.
Cowper bear.
Experts called the
This is
site.
going to be a new thing the kids are going to. Where's my Cowper bear? He can't go to sleep unless you give him his Cowper bear.
Called the sight of so many polar bears together unique.
You pull the string. Sick. Pull it again. Sick. Everyone loves Cowper bear.
Oh,
sick.
Oh, my God. Okay. So anyhow, the huge number could, in fact, amount as much of 1% of the entire world's population of the creatures. Yeah, tourists initially thought the bears were a flock of sheep. Sheep.
Sheep are sick.
Although viewing them, after viewing them from a distance, but as a boat drew closer, the lucky
Those aren't sheep eating that whale.
vacationers realized that they were what they were witnessing. The mainly Russian tourists had
Just some
to
sheep eating a whale.
depart from a stopover on the island when they spotted the bears.
That seems normal.
Just seems like a flock of sheep eating a whale, the way sheep do.
No, I think they just saw them on the hillside and they thought they were sheep. One of the things that I've been wanting to do for a little while, I have Kathy and I both share a common ailment. We have lower back pain. We have a mildly herniated discs, which causes pressure on the nerves in your back and all this stuff. And our backs hurt all the time. But my neighbor has the same issue, and he's gotten past his problems. And so my neighbor Jaime had he had done all these things, and he also goes, oh yeah, and I get acupuncture. And so it's all of this together has helped completely alleviate it from his life. And I'm like, well, I'm game.
yeah.
I'll do whatever I can to help get rid of this pain. So I've never had acupuncture before. And we're going to stick me with these little needles.
Today!
From Virtua Acupuncture, we want to welcome Heather Schultz to the show this morning. Hey, Heather.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello. And how long have you been doing this, by the way?
I've been practicing acupuncture for 7 years.
7 years.
Mhm.
Okay. And let me ask you this about acupuncture. Now, this has to do with the body's nervous system? Or that's what I've always been led to believe?
The acupuncture's effects do have positive effects on the nervous system. It also deals with the musculoskeletal system.
Okay.
And when we put acupuncture needles in you today for pain, it releases your endogenous opioids.
So you're
natural painkillers.
Okay,
that are in your
okay.
body. Well, also we've had some really exciting research lately. It affects brain neuroplasticity. So your brain changes in response to stimulus.
Okay.
And so acupuncture over time can have positive brain changes that help you manage pain better.
Okay. And with that, and with doing it over time, how often should someone get treated? You know, say somebody like me who has described what my issues are.
So generally we recommend with chronic injuries, you are going to come in once or twice a week in the beginning for a couple of weeks and see what happens. And then you start spacing them out more until you don't need to come in that much.
Okay. All right, so you're going to get in my back and where else?
Hands and feet.
And Casey, can I get some appropriate music for...
Absolutely.
Preston, you encouraged by this? I think because, this could be... I know a number of people have had very good results with this.
Chinese music, by the way, because this is a Chinese art, I believe, or Chinese medicine. Especially my neighbor, because I believe him. He's a smart guy, and he's had pain for years, and he believes this has worked for him. So I'm like, you know what? I will definitely give it a shot. So
he's like the neighborhood Fonzie too, right?
He's so cool.
Acupuncture's cool.
It's great. All right, so I got my shoes off. I can just head over there now.
All right, Preston's going to walk over. We're watching the process, and Preston soon will be pricked all over his body.
All right, and then a question. Can I see one of the needles first, please? Let me see the needle. Oh, wow.
How far does that go in?
I can almost not even see it. It's so thin. How far in does it go in, Heather?
It depends where you're putting it.
All right.
Okay.
Where are you putting it on me?
I'm putting it in your low back,
Yeah, and how far in will that go?
maybe halfway.
Oh, dear God.
That's fine.
pretty deep.
That's fine. All right. Wait. Heather, does it help to have someone going, oh my God! Oh, just relax. Oh dear Jesus, you're gonna kill him. No, I think it has to be a little bit more supportive,
This is going to be
Kathy.
challenging for you. I think.
will?
You're gonna bleed him out.
I tuned those guys out years ago.
Should we dim the lights?
You want to dim the lights?
Let's dim the lights.
All right.
Just a little bit.
All right,
here
so
you go,
we'll
Nick.
dim the lights.
I want this to work for Preston.
Me too. All right, so I'm just lying here, and I'm waiting for this to happen.
All right, Kathy cannot watch. This is why Kathy was screaming and begging for mercy and telling Preston he was
The first one's in, and I did feel a little pinprick, but it didn't feel like it went in very far.
How long do sessions usually last?
So it's going to take me just a couple minutes to put the needles in.
Okay.
And then I would usually let him hang out for about 25 minutes to let them kind of do their work.
We'll try to give him a good run. You know, we can run the show. Preston can do most of the show. A lot of people don't know most of us do the show completely on our stomachs anyway.
Kathy. How much?
How horny are you right now?
How much would it take for me to pay you to get one needle?
Well, listen, if she put it in my back and I couldn't see it, it's having to look at it.
You offer $500?
Yeah. 500.
Yeah. So Preston, you have a few in your lower back right now.
I didn't even notice.
See, and Heather, this is as it's done. I've seen people do it. There's a little bit of twisting back and forth to move him in slowly, or how's it? How do you manage to do that without him feeling it at all?
The needles are so tiny.
So tiny. Okay.
You can fit 20 to 30 of these needles in the head of a injection needle like you had earlier today.
Okay. All right.
So, Heather, should I just relax and try to center? Or
Preston, I would
what?
think of things that you enjoy. Think of your family. Think of, I don't know,
Bukkake videos.
Your favorite bong, Bukkake videos.
Favorite bong.
I would think of.
Sorry. I snorted.
I would think of MILFs.
Oh.
Kay Parker, Preston.
That's old school.
Yeah. I would think of a cup. and 2 girls.
Oh, dude.
All right, so how many needles are in now?
9 needles.
9 total so far, yeah.
Are you done putting needles in them?
I was going to put one on the top of his head.
Please
but
do
his,
it. Do it. He cut his hair extra short.
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Now, this is the one, Heather, you said has to be driven in with a hammer, correct?
Wow, on the top of my head.
Yeah.
You feel that one, Preston?
No.
Okay.
Is it already in?
Yeah.
No, I didn't feel that at all.
I'll say this. Do you seem at peace, Preston? I know you usually come in here screaming and throwing things around, and here you're at peace.
I'm enjoying this.
Do you feel anything?
No, I'm just trying to relax, not move, and accidentally roll over and jam these needles all the way into my skin.
Well, as Heather said, this isn't the optimum condition, but if you were to follow up and stay at it, do you have every confidence he would start to experience the benefits of it?
Yes, certainly.
Okay.
He would start to see benefits within a treatment or two.
Within a treatment or two, Preston.
Yeah, and I plan on it. You remember I'd said earlier in the week that I think it would be nice if everybody tried to do one nice thing. I want to thank my buddy Casey here.
What'd he do?
Well, the past few days, I've come into the studio after doing my prep work in the other room here, and then I come in, about 5 minutes before the show starts to get ready to begin, and there has been a nice, piping hot mug of coffee sitting.
Wow.
Isn't that that's made my week, dude. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And it might make my wake too.
It made your wake.
Hopefully not.
We're just planning ahead because obviously the whole Alabama thing. I mean, who knows?
You never know.
You're flying into a hurricane.
But it made my week. Thank you. Simple little gesture like that.
Today, I was only paying it forward because Steve brought me a nice piping hot cup of coffee as well.
You see? The movement is spreading.
It's like cancer. No, I mean, it's that's not good. It's like it's a wonderful thing.
Yes. So
it's awesome.
So do that. Have a cup of coffee ready for somebody when they come in today. They'll be so delighted and happy.
Spit in it.
Yeah.
No.
Don't spit in it.
No, it's the wonderful. You feel good when you pay it forward.
And you know what else has been nice?
What?
Kathy's been extra gussied up the past couple of days.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, thanks, Kath. So we have a guest coming up in about a half hour, and that is Daniel Stern. You know him from Home Alone and lots of great movies, City Slickers and The Wonder Years and all that stuff. We'll talk to him in a little bit. But I, over the weekend, spent a lot of time noticing things. I did.
The noticer's back. He's been noticing all weekend. He's got that weekend noticer glow. Start talking so I can interrupt.
All right, sorry. You didn't interrupt me.
Across an empty field. You know the whole Come on, we're friends.
All right, new federal estimate show. Philadelphia remains the nation's 6th most populous city. I always thought we were 5. I guess we lost to Phoenix at some point.
Yeah, we swapped for a while.
By the way, some other areas have, they play light and fast with their redistricting and all that stuff to get the numbers changed.
Phoenix
so
is one of those.
Because I remember when we first started the show way back, Preston, I think we were 4th.
Maybe.
I thought, we were, and I always thought we were neck and neck with Detroit.
Yeah.
So despite a decline in population throughout the pandemic, we're still number 6. But the U.S. Census Bureau data out this week shows that San Antonio, Texas, could surpass the city of brotherly love in the coming years if trends continue, that is. The data shows Philadelphia lost 3.3% of its population, roughly 53,000 residents between April of 2020 and July of 2023.
I'm surprised that you're saying this because in San Antonio, of course, everyone knows about that invisible deadly gas that keeps leaking up from the ground.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't want to live there.
Why would you even think about that?
You know, the invisible deadly gas. No smell.
That drops the city's overall population to about 1,550,542 people. So that's Philadelphia, the city limits of Philadelphia.
We best get to banging.
So 1.5 mil and some change. So San Antonio saw the largest numerical increase in its population of any city in the entire country in 2023, adding about 22,000 residents last year. Its population now stands at 1,495,295.
I think I can guess as to why that is the case. They are one of the few remaining cities in the country that still has a Stuckey's.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, You got to love those pecan logs.
If you want to talk
there.
about what draws a population, access to the pecan log.
So the data also shows Philadelphia is not the only major city to see a population shrink as well. Nearly all of its peer cities in the Northeast and Midwest saw losses as well, some coming at much greater risk. And I saw this other story saying that Chicago could soon lose its status as the third largest city in the U.S.
Wow.
Chicago!
Yeah.
Chicago!
May I suggest something?
Yes.
We absorb Chicago.
Okay.
And that'll bump us right up.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Casey, you're wondering, Houston may take them over.
Are they 4 right now?
The Windy City lost approximately 0.3% of its population from July 2022 and July 2023. The city went from a population of 2,672,000 to 2,664,000. Both New York and Los Angeles, number 1 and 2, when it comes to population size, saw declines in population. But during the same time, Houston, which has been just behind Chicago in population numbers for several years, continued to grow in size. The Texas city grew by 0.5% to 2,314,000. So my buddy lives in Houston. I've not been to visit him yet, but that place he showed me some pictures of the highway systems there. I've never seen so many lanes of road in my life.
And get off on the residential streets. You'll notice super wide, well-maintained streets. It's the case in Dallas and other parts. So I've been over Texas and around Texas quite a bit because my dad, for many years, Dallas, and we would go out and visit the different areas. Houston, the last time I was there, and great streets, a lot of nothing. A lot of,
right?
At least to my perception. Maybe I wasn't taking in the Houston hotspots.
Has it been a while?
It's been quite a while.
Yeah, because it's exploded from what I understand. Yeah.
All right.
Not like blown up, exploded
But that would be
dynamite, but
interesting.
that would be very interesting.
We blew it up.
But it's gotten really, really populous. So
Is it like an Austin vibe?
Don't know about that. I don't think so. I don't know.
I've really only been to Austin.
Austin's got like
Cadillac ranches.
Austin's got like that bohemian
Yes, it does.
reputation.
It's a
to
hipster
it.
sort of thing right now.
No,
Lots
Houston.
of bats.
Look at it. Look at
Is
this.
that
We're
Houston?
looking at a Houston interchange of highways.
That's insane.
It's ridiculous.
That's nuts.
Connor, see if you can find the one where it shows how wide. It's like 26 lanes. I know it's pretty crazy, but if you can find it, I've never seen that much road in my life. But, and
by the way,
I imagine traffic gets out of control.
Out there, I don't know, maybe it's just a product of, so we're looking at a picture, Kathy, 26 lanes.
Look at that. I-10, 26 lanes wide.
And look at all the people bunched up in the, and people still like the
Well, that's
bunch.
where the Stuckey's off-ramp is.
Right. Well, there you go.
Oh my gosh.
And that leads right to your theory, Steve.
No, thank you. I don't ever want to.
You wouldn't want a
live there or
26-lane
go
highway
there.
right behind your house?
No, I don't even want to ever see it in
So
person.
there's a prediction that Chicago will be overtaken by Houston by 2035 if population trends hold.
And if you've never had a Houston deep dish pizza, it's excellent.
I've only flown through Texas. I've only had a layover in Dallas. That airport is awesome, by the way.
I
Dallas
love
Fort Worth.
Dallas-Fort Worth.
Airport is fantastic.
Everything runs really well, and they have it, it's sort of intuitive. What I will say is this, and one vacation we went out and went all over the place, Preston, into deep Texas. You get a lot of Bonnie and Clyde kind of towns.
Yeah.
You get some real Americana. I told you I went into an ice cream place, and I asked for chocolate. And the woman behind the counter says, "We don't have chocolate." Oh, have you heard?
Yeah.
It's the other flavor.
Yeah, I can't form an opinion on Texas. I haven't really been there.
Corpus Christi,
Yeah.
very pretty. There's a lot of great stuff. Dallas itself is wonderful in a lot of areas, and the people are really good. And I mean, it's a general statement. I'm sure there's a
the
couple of
people in
a-holes.
Dallas are terrible, but every other city around there,
Yeah.
for as much as I loathe Dallas, I actually like Houston. I've been, I've never actually been to Houston, but I'm just basing it on sports teams like the Oilers.
I saw a stamp.
Yeah.
I did spring break in South Padre.
How'd you like it?
It was great. It was, like we didn't really know about it. It was kind of like up and coming for the spring breakers when we first went. That was where I pretended to cry.
To get out of a ticket?
No, to stay at the one hotel and not have to move to the other one.
Oh, that's right. And it worked.
So, yeah.
MTV used to do. Did they do South Padre?
They did do
Panama
South.
City as well.
Yep.
Well, all right. Well, we'll see if we end up being taken out.
I don't like it.
By Austin, which would be very, very interesting.
No, by San Antonio.
I'm sorry, San Antonio. You're right.
Yeah.
So here's another thing that I noticed.
More from the noticing.
A recent ranking by Big Seven and Enjoy Travel lists the sexiest and least sexy accents in the country. We've talked about this type of thing before.
Yeah.
And they tend to remain fairly linear. Okay, can I guess what the sex is?
Surprised. Yeah, go ahead.
Southern.
You need to be more regional than that.
I'll go Georgia straight up.
You
Straight
either
stunning.
got to give a state or a
Okay,
city.
Georgia.
So Georgia, no. Number one is anybody else?
No. Sorry, I didn't know if you were doing the worst, or the best, or the worst.
This is the best.
Okay.
Sexiest, Texas.
Texas.
The Texan accent.
Yeah.
They described it as Southern accent with a twist. And they are known for speaking with strong R's and plenty of howdies.
I had a friend move to Texas, and 40 seconds after he got there, he called with a Texas accent, and I was like, "Stop it!
Stop
it right now!"
You can't do that yet.
And then he lived there for years, and I think it was a genuine. It wasn't as strong as the day he got there, but
Right.
There was, so when I was out for my father's funeral and that whole service, and there were a lot of people that I was meeting, and there was some really old, born and bred Texans. It is a nice accent if it's authentic.
So this list, I'm a little suspect of.
Yeah.
Because it was the Texas Bureau of Tourism.
No.
If Boston's on there, I'm out.
Boston's number
Oh,
2.
come on. That
what?
is not
Stop it.
sexy
I
at
know.
all.
I know.
I'm sorry.
No way.
It's like Suffolk County. Excuse me. I'm sorry, my voice. But yeah, to me, that I think a lot of people would call that a grating.
I've always,
Yeah.
yes, I've always found it annoying, especially if somebody's yelling with a Boston accent.
And even if you don't mind it, it's not sexy.
Yeah, it's
Sexy,
not
exactly.
sexy. I don't mind it.
It can be. It can be endearing. It can also, but sexy.
No.
Something that you find sexy.
Well, the one that killed me, and this is not going to make too much sense for you guys, number 9 on this list of sexiest accents is St. Louis. And so, no. God, no.
Oh my God, he's from St. Louis.
It's no. I've told you
Wait,
guys
give us
about
a
the
little-
accent
Total
before.
panty dropper.
They say, so the or
Yeah.
is pronounced R.
Yeah.
Like Farty Far.
So Farty Far was Highway Farty Far. My brother George said that we're going to Farty and we're going to order some food tonight. There's nothing sexy in the slightest bit about it. Nothing.
Say dirty stuff with
But
the St.
number
Louis.
8 on this list,
All right. What do we got?
Philadelphia.
Yeah, well, I see that.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of
that
course
makes
you do.
it should be number 1.
We're endearing.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
I look at it like this: like if you're on the phone with a customer service rep, right? You don't know what they look like or anything like that, and you're just based on their voice alone. I go Southern every
Same.
single time.
Yeah.
and not necessarily Texas. I think like South.
Yeah,
East.
like Georgia. Well,
Georgia.
Georgia, I think, is good.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm trying to think of the U.S. dialects.
So-
what?
A Southern, a lilt is always considered, I've always believed that most people consider that to be sexy. I can see the Texas thing. What do you guys think of the classic California, I want to say Valley Girl-ish, because that's more of a,
It's kind of like neutral. It's
affectation.
kind of neutral, though, don't you think?
But there's that kind of, the surfer thing.
Yeah.
That's number 10 on the list, by the way.
What, California?
Yeah, 10 on the list. So
California.
I'll run through these. Number 3 is New York, which is interesting because the least sexy accent is Long Island.
Yeah.
But it is different from, right? Like, don't
It
you
is,
think?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
people that live in Manhattan.
So by New York, we mean Manhattan.
Manhattan
I would
is,
think so.
is much, yeah.
Okay.
And that Long
Long
Island
Island's like-
accent? No, that's not
You going to
sexy.
Massapequa?
Yeah.
I saw you at the mall. You're buying some underwears.
Number 4 is the Mainer accent.
Mainer.
Yeah, Maine.
I don't know what that accent is.
You can't get that from here. It's people who talk a little bit like this. The accent.
Cabbage Farm has been making cakes ever since you were knee-high to a grasshopper.
It's almost Bostonian. I mean,
By the way, I had your grandmother.
the whole Northeast.
6 ways from Sunday. Yep,
Sounds like the voice.
I left a little icing on the back.
Yeah.
yeah, a little bit. Yes, it's all in that region.
Right,
Yeah.
Vermont.
The Boston is a little more arch
Yeah.
version of that. But yeah, I think they call it like a Yankee accent. Is the mainer thing.
Oh, okay.
Number 5 is Chicago.
Chicago.
Which is a straight up Midwestern accent.
Chicago!
I don't mind that.
Mississippi is 6. So there you go, deep south.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
And number 7 is the Hawaiian accent.
Well, yes. Yeah, I could see that being. And now, if you're saying Hawaiian, are you saying like a Samoan, a native
know.
Hawaiian, or the way?
I would need to hear examples.
Yeah.
You know, for this to really ring true, because some of these aren't super. They're not standing out firmly in my
Pretty
mind.
funny because we're going by the female accent. Obviously, Kathy, I assume that you and Marissa are going by the male
No,
accent.
you know what? That's funny. Not really, because when you talked about like customer service, I was thinking of having like a female, from down in Georgia. on the phone.
All right.
So, and by the way, there's a difference in the southern accents too. If you say Georgia, and so on. But I mean, there's a southern accent that's a little more refined like this, and then you got redneck, which is way different, man.
That was an affront to my thinking, sir.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit more aristocratic. Yeah, you're right. And then there's the anus.
Yeah. Then there's NASCAR.
Right.
I mean, we're going to get out there and have a good day. Hey, Boomhauer from King of the Hill.
Right,
So I don't know. It's all interpretive.
It seems like a weird list, the fact, but...
I was happy to see Philadelphia made it on the list, whether it rings true or not.
Wow.
So that was nice.
See, I have an antiseptic, I believe, for the most part. You don't have what I would, a little bit.
I think I do. I just don't know that I do.
Okay.
I didn't know that I had an accent until when I was dating my ex-girlfriend, visiting her, and I was hanging with her and her friends, and they thought it was the funniest way I said home and phone. And I was like, wait, what are you saying? Wait, you say phone. I'm saying it the same way.
You've just almost imperceptible amount of that. You just have a tiny bit of it. Enough if somebody to really analyze it against another one, they might hear it, but you're not overly.
It flickers. It's not a raging flame. It'll appear every now and then.
Right.
But it's not pronounced.
Kathy,
I think you have it.
I knew it.
Wait, Preston, you and I will look at each other sometimes when he says a word. We're like, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys share a look? You guys have a look?
Yeah.
We have a look.
You have a look?
They have a look, Case.
Man, you know what the worst is when you see the look. I saw there was a look earlier this morning off air. I was like, oh, this is okay.
Who did the look?
Preston did a look to you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I did?
I don't even remember.
Well, and you guys do a look during sports. And I don't know if it's something else or if it's me pronouncing something, but I see that look.
My look, I'll give you my look. So you know it. This is the signature look to Kathy. It's like this. I tilt my head just about 5 degrees to the right. Like, really? All right.
Do it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my
And
look.
that's not even my dad joke look. That's just my regular look.
Hold on. Casey and I have a look, and I feel like ours is we just make eye contact, and that's it.
It's very Jim from The Office look.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Okay. We do share our looks throughout here. All right, I was going to move on to something else that I noticed as well. And, Kat, this one will speak to you. Bruce Nordstrom, retail executive who helped expand his family's Pacific Northwest department store chain into an upscale national brand, has passed away.
Oh.
At how old was he?
90 years old.
90 years old.
I'm sure he lived a tremendously wealthy and awesome life. So he was the former chairman. They're based out of Seattle, which I did not know about Nordstrom.
That's a city.
It is a city.
How many Seattles are there, do you think, in this fine
I think
country?
every state is legally has to have a Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Well, we found out there are several Philadelphias that we didn't know about.
Yeah.
So the chain traces its roots back to a Seattle shoe store.
So Nordstrom started as a shoe store?
Yep, opened by Swedish immigrant John Nordstrom and a partner in 1901.
Yeah, Nordstrom, and now that you mention it, is a Swedish name.
And other members of Bruce Nordstrom and other members of the third generation took leadership of the reins in 1968. They brought the company public in 1971 and expanded the footprint across the U.S. while also launching the lower-priced Nordstrom Rack stores. In 1971, Nordstrom Rack goes that far back?
Well, I thought that would have been more like 80s, 90s.
Right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe it isn't the timeline that. Bruce retired from his executive role in 1995 as the third generation handed over leadership to the fourth.
I've had enough of these.
He retired as chairman of Nordstrom's board of directors in 2006.
By the way, this just in, there is one place named Seattle in America.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Nice. He was one of several Nordstrom family members who in 2017 made a push to take the company private, proposing to buy out the 70% of the department store's stock that they didn't already own. Talks failed in 2018, but earlier this year, his sons started another series of buyout negotiations.
Oh, wow.
I have a feeling, so I
wouldn't mind
throughout
that.
my life being taken, going with girlfriends and my wife now, shopping, I never really had a big problem with Nordstrom. And I suspect that they always had liberal seating for, that was always a place for you to sit.
Oh, yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
I thought you meant like I think it's technically considered high end, but it's not like
It's
Neiman
accessible.
Marcus or
Like Neiman
Saks
Marcus
Fifth
is
Avenue.
different.
Yeah.
Lord & Taylor or whatever.
Lord & Taylor is not high end.
You guys, it's not?
No.
I
No.
don't freaking know. I don't know. I am you guys know I'm a Maxinista.
Yes, completely.
And I love me some Marshalls. I went to Nordstrom Rack one time, and I was just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, you agree? There's just too much.
You have to, like, a place like Nordstrom Rack and that Dick's Warehouse, you have to be in the mood to, like, filter through racks. But I'm surprised that you weren't able to since you like
I'm sorry,
TJ.
sir, we do not have a roadkill section.
Since you like TJ Maxx and Marshalls, because it's similar to that, just on a larger scale. A little bit larger.
Like when I walk into TJ Maxx, I usually don't have a plan. I just walk in and the store just guides me where do I need to be.
Yeah, okay.
And
you become a reed on the river.
Yeah, so when I went to Nordstrom Rack, I went to the one in Delaware near Christiana, and I needed to get like presents for Christmas. So I think maybe I was just like a little under the gun, and I was pressing too hard. I don't know.
Wait, Dick's Warehouse?
Yeah,
Yes.
there's one over by the UA King of Prussia now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
It's the only place for dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a whole warehouse full of Dicks. What's that?
If you go on,
I'm
on
knee
like
deep in dicks.
on like a shipment day or when they stock the shelves or whatever, like you can really luck out there. But I've also been there where like I just walked through and I was like, that was a bunch of crap. So you have
no
to,
kidding.
Yeah, like the shoe shelves were empty when I was there. But when you go and they're stocked, like you're getting some really good stuff.
I got to go over there then.
Yeah. Check it out.
I do.
Is it where the old Nordstrom Rack used to be?
Yep.
Okay, well, there you go.
Is there an REI, a type of warehouse kind of thing?
Well, yeah, they have that like
their rack thing,
Yeah, but they're pre-worn stuff.
and they have other people sweating it.
I mean, yeah, it's pre-worn, but it's a resale. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Interesting. Well, Bruce Nordstrom passed away, and apparently he was integral in taking that brand to the next level. Casey, we need to wrap up.
Yeah, we do.
Unfortunately, I
Sorry.
did notice more things, but I don't have time to notice them right
Won't be able
now.
to notice them now, but we'll notice them later.
Yeah, get off my ass.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Right?
For reals. All right, but we do need to take a break because we have actor Daniel Stern who is going to be joining us in just a moment. I don't even know if we'll be able to play a song or not. We're going to stick around and you're going to find out. We'll be back in a second with him. Stay with us. Glasses.
Yeah, maybe it's a different look.
That's
for
a
you.
sexy look on you.
Jesus. You looked much better yesterday.
Until you just made that face.
You ruined it.
Dear God.
Thank you.
Why, thank you. I'm having issues with my contacts. That's why I'm wearing my glasses.
She smushed her face when she said, thank you.
You do look great in glasses, though.
You do.
If you have people with you have large, you have beautiful eyes.
Thank you.
The glasses look. I think girls with glasses. That whole thing is
It's
BS. I think it's. I think they look. It's a great. When my wife got these great frames, I'm like, keep wearing. They look awesome.
Yeah. You know, I wear glasses every day, but at night, right before bed, where I'm in my house, I don't usually go out in them, but the past couple of days I've been wearing them.
Why not the contacts? Sometimes do they irritate after a while?
No, it's called pink eye.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
So now we're going to move on to something that I've had in mind for a long time, and now the dream is coming true. I actually have sitting next to me a bag full of vibrators.
Yes.
So if that gives you
Because
any
it's
indication.
Friday.
It's Friday.
Yeah, and sometimes someone likes their butt tickled a little.
Well, the best thing was Marissa comes in today and she just walks up next to me. Her desk is directly next to mine. She turns this bag upside down and just dumps 5 vibrators out on the table.
But there's a reason for this madness.
There
and it's
is.
something that has caught your fancy. You saw a video.
I did.
And you
it
said,
was
we got to try this.
Probably a couple of years ago. And I'm like, why have we never done this? So we've created, actually, Casey created this. I said, dude, can you build me this? He said, well, let me look into it. And sure enough, he has done it. We have in our studio a vibrator racetrack. So we're gonna do a live test of this track here in our studio. And if this works, then we'll have an idea of something that we can expand on this, and I'll get you that in a moment. So
we'll expand on dildos.
Do you want to try this out?
I do very
All right,
much.
so I'm gonna reach in and just randomly grab one.
Now, you've
and
never met these dildos.
I've never met this. So I grabbed a.
You picked a good one.
Is this a pink one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's yours?
Yeah. So this will be me.
Okay.
And then here. I'm rubbing it on the microphone.
The force is strong with this one.
And we'll do a couple. We'll try a couple of these and see if it's
I don't want that one.
Just grab one.
Preston, at the adult store, is this the way most people select their stuff?
Yeah.
They reach into
have
a
big
bag.
bag. You reach in. Here you go.
All right, thank you.
I went with this one. You can see it vibrates.
That one's much louder than mine. Hang on.
It's big.
Take it away. This is mine. And then yours.
Okay, Casey has what I would call the hot rod. What color is this? Copper?
Like a maroon.
Nah, like a
Maroon.
burgundy.
Burgundy, yeah.
Burgundy.
I'm gonna like.
Come on,
Mine is
Kathy.
sort of a happy medium.
All right, Kathy.
There are 2 remaining.
I-
Pick a vibrator.
I feel bad that Marissa can't take part.
Kathy's reaching in. First time ever her hand has been on a vibrator. Oh, she got one that's kind of contoured and has a little curl at the end.
Now, this is a European model, Preston.
Turn that on, Kathy. Let's hear it.
Ooh, that sounds almost nautical.
The two of you just got like turned on, maybe.
No. It sounds like it's singing.
It's like my voice.
Hang on, let me harmonize. Hold on. No. That's how I'm playing chords on the guitar. It's a D.
Yeah.
All right, stop. Hold on. Ready? Play it.
What is it? That's very cool.
All right, Nick. Pull yours up.
All right, so in typical McElwain fashion, I got the skinny pink one.
Yeah, you did. You got the littlest one.
This will get the job done fast.
Hey, let's go racing, fellas.
Yeah!
Boogity, boogity, boogity. All right, so take your chosen vibrator over to the tracks. We have to turn them all on. All right, they're placing them on the track. Go. I'll call the race. Ready, and 3, 2, 1, begin. And they're off. Steves is taking off down the middle. Steves already crossed the finish line. In second place is, who was that?
The blue one.
Casey!
Casey came in second, followed by Nick McElwain, third. Look at me. Kathy Romano is fourth, and mine is not even halfway down yet.
Oh, my God.
That
a
is-
despicable display.
It's still just taking its time.
Where's Kathy?
Kathy's finished.
Wow.
Here comes mine rattling down. Still not across the finish line yet in 3, 2, 1, and there it is.
Oh,
wow.
Preston, does yours have the most girth?
No. Casey's does.
Surprisingly.
Let's put him back up on the track again, and we'll try. I'll turn the mic back up over there.
You're out! Yeah, it's too fast.
It's too fast?
Man, do
All
I
right.
know how to pick a fast dildo, though.
Get him in place.
Oh, my God. Preston, we've been to both the Poconos and Daytona.
And Dover.
That same sense, Dover, that same sense of excitement.
All right, we got him lined up. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Let's go racing. And here we go. Now we got a race.
Oh, man.
Casey's is off to the lead, but it's neck and neck. Nick McElwain is pulling ahead.
Come on.
And has taken a full-length lead at this point, but you never know what might happen towards the end. Nick is still headed towards the finish line. He's just about there. Casey slowed down considerably. Nick, our winner. All right, now it's neck and neck for third
Head
and
and head.
fourth. It's head and head.
Kathy's making way here.
Casey's is coming up, and Kathy's is slowly catching mine, which has now trailed the third place. All right, Casey came in second. Kathy looks like she's going to take. I'm going to come in last place again.
Again?
Man. Look at this. And Kathy in fourth.
All right.
Me in last place. Son of a bitch.
Now,
I want a new dildo. All right, our next guest is ready to go. Man, we've had so many people here in the studio, and we saved the rock and roll for last because it's rock and roll time late in the show. But we're happy to have him here this morning performing at the TLA tonight. Please welcome Andrew W.K.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Good morning, sir. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah. As I said, rock and roll time, early in the morning.
You build up to it. Yeah, you build up. It's sort of a way of calibrating your system. And it has been quite a lineup. I've been enjoying the preview tweets and posts that you guys have been putting up. So I feel very privileged to be included in such an illustrious group of folks.
It is pretty amazing. But yeah, there's been a great deal of excitement about you. And you have a very loyal fan base. And that's got to be very rewarding, right?
Well, we're all in this party together, and I certainly don't take it for granted that there are other folks that identify with this celebratory attitude, and we're all looking for the same thing, that kind of enthusiasm, that kind of joy, that kind of party fuel that helps you get through each day and make the most of it.
Well, listen, I think it is a huge badge of honor when you have reached a point in your career when you've actually become a Halloween costume. All right, our guest isn't quite ready to go yet, so I got a couple things I can pass along, including a shout out. This is from Kathleen Duffy, who writes, "Hi, Preston and morning crew. My daughter Bridget Duffy graduates from the University of Pennsylvania Veterinary School on Monday, May 20th. I am proud of her accomplishments and want to acknowledge her and her Penn Vet V24 classmates."
That's awesome.
So she was asking for a shout out if we could. She says thanks and praise. So there you go. Congratulations. A lot of people, going through graduation ceremonies.
And I've been over to the Penn Vet Center many times.
Oh, yeah?
They're wonderful, yes.
And that's on Penn's campus, or?
No. It's, I forget the exact directions. I'll drive you there later on.
All right, thank you. I do appreciate that. Our guest is on and ready to go.
Oh, I didn't realize.
We are excited to talk to him. His book is called Home and Alone, and it is out, it says tomorrow. So I want to make sure that that's correct, and it's available for purchase at danielstern.com, and I'm sure anywhere you can get fine pieces of literature. Please welcome Mr. Daniel Stern to our show this morning. Hey,
hey, whoa, I'm here. I can't believe it. Wow.
It is great to have you on, Daniel. Big fan of yours, and I've been lately on a bio kick about reading people's memoirs, and I'm really loving it. And especially, I've read a lot of actors' memoirs. And do you start at the very beginning? Do we get a snapshot of your entire life in this memoir? Is that what this is all about, Daniel?
It is. I wasn't even. I mean, I'm not a writer. And I'd never really intended to write the book. I'd started it. Yeah, I've been such a lucky man in my life and so many good things. And I just I hit 65 and I thought it was time to just stop for a second and see how the heck did I get here? This is all so sweet, but I've been going. And I wanted to kind of like regroup a little bit. So I started myself at the beginning. Like, okay, where was I born? What did I do?
Going back, doing the research is wild.
Yeah. It was beautiful. It was the whole point was to kind of take a look at my life again, and I did. And then and I like to be funny, and so as I started writing stuff down, it was sort of amusing to me, and then it just sort of grew into a book. And then my agent said, "Well, why don't we show it to somebody?" Because I was going to just leave it for my grandkids or great grandkids. They see the Home Alone movie when I'm gone. It's like, and there's a little story behind that. And this is what your great grandma and great grandpa were doing. So it was kind of a legacy thing in a way, too. But it ended up a beautiful experience writing it, getting a perspective on myself, and actually finding a little something to say about the world, maybe, or just my. It was so interesting to see. Like, I was a very empowered young person. As you'll see in the book, I start off, at 4, I'm walking through the streets of Philadelphia by myself. I'm hitchhiking around the country at 13 and just became a very independent kind of person. And then grew into my life as an actor, and ended up in movies about kids growing into good, strong people. And so there's been a theme in the book of that. Too.
So you'd mentioned walking the streets of Philadelphia, and I saw the little teaser video you did for this book, and you said you were a 2-time hot dog eating champion in Montgomery County, and that's Pennsylvania?
No, it's Maryland.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Then it really doesn't count.
Yeah.
I have never stepped into the arena in Pennsylvania, Montgomery County. No, the hot dog king there is never to be challenged.
No, and we appreciate the respect. What I think is great, Daniel, is that so we talked to Henry Winkler, who was a dyslexic and has now written so many books. You were dyslexic as well. The concept of writing a book, did that sort of delay this for a while, or how did you approach that?
Well, it's funny. My mother lives in our guest house still, God bless her, and the book opens with a line that she said to me, which is, "You're going to write a book? You can't even read a book. How are you going to write a book?" And that was a bit of my. It was a little daunting in that way, but one of the things I guess in my mentality is I march on. I go through that and I try new things. I like that.
No, I think it, and reading through some of the teases and reviews and doing some of the research on this, you have sort of you've allowed yourself, or I guess your parents never discouraged you, and you were just sort of able to, as you said, sort of be self-actualized. And you got your first taste of theater in like a summer a school production, and you were off and running. But you really have had a sort of a really cool, blessed career. You have so many. We're bringing up just some of your movies and some of the projects you've been involved with, and you're in there. And many times, like for example, I'm a huge fan of the movie Diner, as many people are. One of your earlier films. What a great ensemble, and that you had. What was that experience like? Because you had Kevin Bacon, Tim Daly, Steve Guttenberg, Mickey Rourke, and Barry Levinson, writing and directing.
Barry Levinson's first movie out of the gate. That was Barry's first film, which was it was so. I mean, the actors obviously were superstars, all in the bud form, waiting to blossom. And Barry picked us all. The other beautiful thing about that experience in particular, Barry being a first-time filmmaker who wrote the script, you'd think he would hold on so tight to his script and say, "I want to do it this way. This is how I've." Barry threw the script out the window in a lot of scenes. We improvised our way through things. He counted on the talent of us to be good at hanging out with each other, which we were, and BSing with each other in the diner. And it ended up, that was his vision. That was his friendship. That's what friendship was about to him, that camaraderie. And he brought that camaraderie out in all of us. And it taught me early in my career, there's many ways to make a movie. You can be in a Breaking Away, won the Academy Award for Best Screenplay. And this one, the screenplay got sort of tossed, and they were both terrific movies. And it really taught me about the filmmaking process, and that it is an art form, a collaborative art form. But it was a great learning lesson early in my career.
That's so good,
Daniel,
good.
With us, the movie viewing public, we like to, we have one perception of what movies are all about, and I like to believe certain things, and I like to believe that you and Billy Crystal are really good friends, because it really came off so well in the City Slickers movies. Is that legit?
I will never speak to that.
That son of a bitch. Well, he wrote a very favorable blurb for your book, so
he did, and I had to lie about all that too. Billy has been a champion of mine. Plucked me out, put me in that movie with him, with a great part. He's the mensch of a lifetime and an artist in so many ways. And he's still a dear friend. He comes over, I go over. He was recognized with the Kennedy Center honors this year. I mean, he has had a career like no other, and I've been holding on to his coattails as long as possible.
No, you're a legitimate asset to all these films, and specifically those as well. But I'll say this: I'm going to conjecture this. I don't know if this is the case, but I bet one of the questions you must get asked the most is, your relationship in Home Alone with Joe Pesci, because Joe Pesci has such a knack for playing sociopathic killers. It's hard to believe he's as adept at comedy as we see him being. So what's the truth of Joe Pesci? Is he a sociopathic killer or a happy-go-lucky imp?
I'd have to kill you if I told you that.
You're sworn to secrecy.
Joe and I became friends on another movie before that. He's a funny man. But again, I mean, he can do it all. And if you want to know the secret about Joe Pesci and Joe's artistry, forget the psychopathic killer and forget the comedy. Go to his jazz music.
What?
Really? Joe Pesci is a world-class jazz singer. Play it on your radio show. He goes by the name of Joe Doggs, Doggs, and you will not believe he can croon like Tony Bennett, like Frank Sinatra. I'm telling you, you'll never listen or see Joe Pesci the same way. He's an artist, and he can play those parts, and he can play that part. But his jazz singing will open your mind to something completely different.
Amazing. Well, listen, Daniel.
And that's in the book, by the way. Home Alone.
Home and Alone, yes. We're very excited to read.
I'm picking it up tomorrow. It's going to be my next one I read for sure. Home and Alone is the name of the book. But we're big fans, Daniel. Thanks for taking the time this morning.
And
Good luck.
by the way, the money from the book goes to the Boys and Girls Clubs. I'm giving all the money
there you go.
To the Boys and Girls Club. So if you want to buy the book, you're also making a sweet donation. All of it goes to Boys and Girls Club because that's another wonderful organization I talk about and have supported and so anyway, just wanted to put that plug in.
All right, you're not a wet bandit at all.
Not at all. No. All right, thank you, Daniel. Take care. We appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Daniel Stern. He's awesome. So many different things. I love the fact that in the Wonder Years, he was the voice of Kevin through that entire series, and he did such a great job.
By the way, he never had a credit on that show.
Really? Not a credit?
Right. So what he did is he didn't want that to distract.
Yeah.
He wanted you to believe that was the voice of adult Kevin.
Okay.
And so he thought to see that name pop up would cause a detachment, or at least in the initial stages. Maybe his agent argued otherwise. But yeah, it's pretty amazing.
There's a couple other kind of throwaway movies that he's been in. There was and it was not a great movie, but it was fun, and it was Cheech Marin, Born in East L.A.
Oh, yeah, I dig that movie.
I thought it was fun.
It's crappy fun.
He played the guy that was helping illegals get over the border to Mexico. Daniel Stern did, and it was it was against character type for him. And he was great. He was wonderful.
He's in a ton of stuff. Isn't he in he's in Blue Thunder as well?
He is in Blue Thunder.
Yeah.
He played second fiddle to Roy Scheider in that movie.
He's good.
He's
Do you guys remember that movie?
It was about a high-tech helicopter.
Whisper quiet.
And they could do all kinds of like sensitive hearing equipment.
Right.
It could have thermal readouts. It had, all this, it was, and eventually they made a TV series into it. Dana Carvey took on the role that Daniel Stern's character played.
It was pretty horrible.
But it's interesting, because you had Roy Scheider in that movie. Roy Scheider was in a movie called Jaws. Too.
Oh, yes. True.
And Steve recently rewatched the movie Jaws.
They released a special edition.
Was this the director's cut?
This is the director's
Spielberg's cut.
Classic scene.
We have audio of when Quint is telling the story about being in the Indianapolis, the ship that was, bringing the bomb, the Hiroshima bomb, and
powerful.
It gets knocked out, and then they have all these sharks surrounding it. Well, apparently the script was initially different.
They thought it might have been too heavy. And they went with the right choice, the heavier choice, but this is the original.
Yeah, so if you want to hear that, this is that audio. Here we go.
A Japanese sub slammed 2 torpedoes into our side, Chief. The vessel went down in 12 minutes. Didn't see the first shark for a half hour. The tiger, 12-footer. Soon more sharks started cruising in. So we formed ourselves into tight groups. So we came up with a plan. If we could find some possums and put bombs in them, then the sharks would eat them and then blow up. At first, the sharks weren't interested in the possums. Sometimes you would try to trick the sharks and say things like, "Boy, those possums sure look delicious." You ever see a shark's eyes when it's not listening to you talk about possums, Chief? They're cold, lifeless eyes. Doll's eyes. Dolls that know you've put bombs in those possums. Anyway, Chief, we put the bombs in the possums, and the possums in the sharks. And that's why I never go to sea without a good supply of possums and bombs.
So, yeah, it was a bit much, though.
Yeah.
You know,
It was a stretch.
People having to visualize
Yeah.
possums and sharks and bombs and all that.
And the question that kept coming up with test audiences, where did they get the possums?
Yeah, where?
Yeah.
You know, did they just happen to have a shipment of possums on board?
You would think that would be, I mean, they were there with one mission, which is to deliver the bomb, not to transport possums.
That was AI you used on that?
Oh, my God.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I copied Quint, lifted Quint off the actual sound effects and the music. Then I wrote the script, and then I put that on over. Then I eliminated that voice from all that and put them back together. So
somebody texted and said, "You seriously had me at first." That's because it's his voice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Oh my God. I love it. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Real quick, couple other shout outs if you don't mind.
Yes.
Before we move on to something else, to say my son Eric McIntyre turns 19 tomorrow. And he's listened to you guys all his life, on the way when I was taking him to the babysitter when little, to me driving him to school with the radio on, listening. So listening at home since I was at that I work from home now. Can't start a morning without the Preston and Steve show. That's from Jenny McIntyre. So this is for Eric McIntyre.
That's a question that you know, I wonder, statistically, the person who has been weaned on the Preston and Steve show, how likely are they to adopt a life of crime, succeed?
You want to do a
poll.
study?
Yeah. Right. Who has spent their entire life exposed to the Preston and Steve show? In other words, to get a sort of a cross section of success, you know, failure, you know, what listening to the show can do to someone.
Right. What are the demographics of the person who grew up?
What have we wrought?
Listening. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's time. Ye must reap what ye have sown.
Oh, my God.
Exactly.
So we'll see. All right, then another quick one that says, "Hey, guys, listen to your podcast, and I'm a few months behind, but you did the Ass Master segment, and somehow Casey mentioned having a surgery on his butthole.
Yeah.
And Casey seemed very embarrassed / uncomfortable by it, but I connected with that cause because I, too, need surgery on my butthole. And that moment, it made me realize, hey, he's just like us." So I picked up the phone and I scheduled the surgery.
Nice.
I was nervous for lateral internal sphinctectomy, but once it was a good thing to go on the internet and see, once it was a good thing to go on the internet, I think they're trying to say I went on the internet to see what it was all about.
Okay.
I was nervous, but a lot of the forum put my mind at ease. So fast forward to now, I'm in recovery from my butthole surgery.
Nice.
Excellent.
But I would like to thank surgical team at Berwyn Hospital, Dr. Pearson, and the nurses, putting me at ease and making the procedure as quick and easy as possible. If anyone else is listening, please just get the surgery. Make that pain in the ass go away. I'd like a big, wet, sloppy shout out for Casey and everyone at Bryn Mawr Hospital and Dr. Peterson, butthole doctor. Thank you again.
Well, I'm going to give this for you, Casey.
Thank you.
So that is from Chris Bajath, who emailed in. So, Chris, I hope it went well.
Does that make honestly? Does that make you feel good to know someone got proactive about something and was able to correct an issue because you brought it up on air?
Yeah, I guess so. And it's funny because when I had my procedure done last year, it really wasn't that bad. It was minimally invasive.
Yeah.
I mean, they did have to put me under whatever. But I was nervous because there was a slight possibility that they would have messed with the sphincter muscle. And there's kind of no coming back from that if you do. And so I was like, wow, I wish I didn't know that beforehand. I wish you could have told me that afterwards.
I know.
You know?
Yeah. And so you hate that. But listen, you always realize that statistically, like they'll tell you a percentage of the people will have this reaction to aspirin. It doesn't. I mean, the vast majority are going to be fine.
Right.
You know. But no, I completely understand. You're like, oh, I would have liked
Am I
to
going
have
to be
known.
incontinent for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Like, oh, great.
Here's a real quick doubling back to what are people up to who have lived their entire lives listening to our show. This one says, my 28-year-old son was raised on your show. He is now a federal agent.
There we go.
Here's another one.
He's
Says,
probably arresting another guy who listened to our show as well. For 20 years.
This one says, my daughter's been listening all her life, and she graduated from Dickinson College yesterday. Not too shabby.
That's encouraging, right?
Nice, yeah.
At least we're not destroying their educations.
There's two good ones.
We got two.
So we're happy about that. Two. Hey, so what I wanted to mention this thing. Steve and I were talking off air. There was a story from last week. It surfaced last Friday, actually, and we didn't get an opportunity to talk about it because we were quite busy on Friday. But the world's number one golfer, Scotty Scheffler, was arrested at the PGA Championship over the weekend on Friday, and he was arrested for assaulting an officer. And when I first read the story, I was like, hold on. I'm like, this is going to turn out to be some huge misunderstanding.
Yeah, you didn't think he was committing an armed robbery.
Scott Scheffler is known as squeaky clean as you can get.
Right.
He's a very
worldly known good guy.
Worldly known good guy. He's a church going guy. He's all about family. He is an incredible golfer. He's one of the most amazing golfers I've ever seen. But he doesn't even, he keeps his language very clean. He's a very level-headed guy. He's very thoughtful of other people. And when I saw this story, I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. And so it ended up having a bit of tragedy behind it. A person was killed. Somebody who worked at the golf outing or at the golf tournament was killed in a car accident, and the police had closed down the road. And apparently he had to get to the golf. He was playing in the PGA Championship. He needed to get there. So he was off on the shoulder. I don't know if he was like passing like tons and tons of people or whatever, but he was going where he technically shouldn't have been. Nobody knew that there was a fatal accident.
Right.
And so a police officer had him stop, and I guess he pulled farther forward than the officer wanted. And then it took him like 30 seconds to roll his window down. I don't know if he was on the phone or what, trying to call somebody to figure out what was going on. And apparently what happened, the police officer had put his hand on the vehicle, and Scott had pulled away. And so he called that assaulting an officer and literally handcuffed him on the side of the road. Threw him in the car, took him to the tank. And
by the way, in the tank, he was apparently taking pictures, and they were all, he was as convivial as could be.
You know what else he was doing? He was stretching to get ready for the tournament.
In the cell?
Yeah.
In the cell, yeah.
And then he ended up going and shooting like 500 par.
Yeah, he shot
after he was
66
released
that day.
It was unbelievable.
He was literally watching himself on TV through the jail cell. Get arrested and everything.
Yeah. So when I saw that, I'm like, this has got to be a mistake. And that's what he's saying is, and I believe this guy. I believe him wholeheartedly that that's the case.
I'll tell you why I can believe it, because I've come across scenes like this at night, and one in particular where, and God, Lord knows the police have a hard enough job as it is. Obviously, law enforcement and the family. I know, I hear the stories. But I pulled into an area where there's blinking lights, cop cars all over the place, and I'm like, where do I go?
Yeah.
So I don't. I'm trying to discern. And I start to go, and the one police officer starts yelling at me, and I'm like, I don't. So I could easily see something like that. You know,
there's confusion on both sides,
right?
In chaotic, scenarios like that where, a police officer knows what's going on and doesn't understand that you don't know what's going on.
Just came upon the scene, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, but he went past. It was shut down, and he drove past it. So no police officer is going to take well to that.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And he tried his hardest to not drop his name, which probably would have been the best thing for him to do. You go, hey, listen, I'm Scotty Scheffler. I'm supposed to tee off today at this time, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if he did any of that, but in his press conference, he was basically saying he was trying not to name drop.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I could see that goes along with his character. He's not going to go around big time and throwing his name around.
Perhaps don't know about Tom.
I could see that you're in
I have been listening to the Preston and Steve show for many years. Raised on that program.
But yeah, you can find yourself in a situation where
where am I?
People are not communicating properly, and they're not, you don't understand each other. Man, I was with in the car with Rochelle, her aunt and uncle were in the car, and they were talking to Carter, who was in the back seat. And I heard the misunderstanding, and I'm like, I'm not going to jump in and clear this up.
No.
There's an easy way to clear this up,
Right.
but I'm going to listen to this for a while and hear these people, because somebody didn't hear one of the others say something, and then it led down this 2-minute long back and forth of nobody understanding what the other was
Right,
talking about. I'm
right.
like, I'm just going to hear it till they eventually figure it out. And and then when they did, I said, I knew what was going on there, and I just want to hear how this played out.
But they did play it out.
They did, and
Okay.
eventually they figured it out. And it was like when I was talking the other day at the when people are ordering incorrectly
Right,
at a
right.
table. There's a confusion that can take place if you're not understanding each other, and that can lead to you getting the wrong order or them getting upset because you want to send your order back. And the same thing can happen in situations like this.
Listen, I can. If I have to take charge, I'll do it. But if there's a conflagration of sorts, or there's people, stuff going on, or like a police thing going on, I start to get, because no one wants to be in the middle of it, and they don't want to exacerbate it.
Yeah.
But I know, to that point, Preston, sometimes you just sit back and let it happen.
It was a few years ago, more than a few years ago. It was probably 18 years ago. My buddy, it was me, my buddy Rick, my buddy Jeff, and my brother. We were in my car. Rick was driving. Rick literally had 0 alcohol to drink that night, and the rest of us, we were having a good time.
Yeah.
So anyway,
So the driver is the non-drinking.
the non-drinker, right? So, but he was taking me home, and then at the last minute, we decided, hey, you know what? Why don't we take Jeff home first? So he kind of made this weird, long turn.
Yeah.
What we didn't know was that there were cops in my neighborhood looking for somebody who was up to no good. All right. I don't know if they were, I don't know what they were doing.
Right.
They see us make this weird turn,
Oh,
and they end
man.
up behind us, and they throw, and I don't know what Rick was thinking, but he kind of panicked and just took off. Right? Right?
See
You're
that?
like, dude, you're not drinking.
You can sort of, in those moments, you can sort of understand it. Whether you're
Next thing you
scared crapless, or in case, I want you to finish, but it's like, when you're going to an airport and the sign is there about not having a bomb or anything like that, it's like, do I have a bomb? Of course you don't.
Yeah,
but
so-
you start freaking out.
So he panicked and kind of took off. And next thing you know, we have 3 cops on us, right? And they pull us over, and then
How fast did he take off?
not fast,
Okay.
35 max,
All right.
right? But we're in a residential neighborhood where it's 25 miles per hour, right? But next thing you know, we have all these cops behind us, and then we are stopped. And then car wasn't in park. So now a cop is up at our window.
Yeah.
And he lets his foot off the brake, and we start pulling away as the cop is next to our window. I'm like, what are you doing? Right now, eventually, they ended up letting us go. But I mean, we were pulled over for probably 20, 30 minutes, and the cops kind of yelling at him for pulling away.
Sure, because they're in a tense situation.
Whose car is this? Why are you driving?
Right.
And it's because we've all been drinking, except for him. He's the only one. The one behind the wheel is the one who's safe. He should be driving. But thank God we didn't. But it was getting dicey there for a hot minute.
Wow.
See, that's where stuff can go south
And
really
it
quickly.
really was going south.
But do you understand that panic? It's almost like a fight or flight thing. It's like, these are situations we are not in normally.
And also,
unless you're a hardened criminal.
Simultaneously, there's stuff going on, right? So you're trying not to panic. The cop, he doesn't know what the hell's going on in the car. He doesn't know if he's pulling over.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. And then when you don't listen to the barriers they've set up or whatever.
Yeah, we got a car full of fish fans.
Or you
Yeah,
just
it's
don't
accurate.
understand.
Yeah,
you may not be that you're not listening. You just wait. That didn't compute right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
First time I ever got pulled over, I was in high school, and the officer was like, "Where's the fire?" Right? So, because he pulled me over for speeding.
I'll help you look.
I'm 16 years old. I don't know what the hell he means.
Where's the fire?
He's like,
Tell me
where's
to
the
find
fire?
it.
And I yelled at the people in the back seat of my car. I'm like, you guys aren't allowed to smoke in my car. I didn't know what he was saying. I had no clue.
Did he laugh at you?
No. No, but I didn't know what he was saying,
What's all the hubbub? Does anybody have any hubbub in here? You just don't understand.
I pulled no hubbubs in this car, guys.
Years ago, maybe second year driving, I got pulled over. And so my wallet was in a bag in my trunk.
Oh, jeez.
So I get out and I'm going around
Oh, yeah,
to the
yeah.
trunk, and the cop's
Right.
like
That's always
freaking
good.
the hell out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm not even thinking, oh, he's making a play for a shotgun.
Right.
Just get my rifle out of the trunk.
I when I was a teenager, when I was a 16-year-old, and I got pulled over a couple times because we bought a used car from Kentucky, and I still had Kentucky plates on before I got and I got pulled over, and I would get out of the vehicle when getting pulled over, and I was just going to say, "Hey, we bought this car."
No.
You understand?
Yeah.
I did not understand that can be perceived as a threatening maneuver, just getting out of your car.
Yeah. But you don't, honestly, again, in those moments, it's, and I'm sure they're trained to understand that, people will have that reaction.
Yeah.
Even someone who's flat out innocent and has not done anything wrong might act as if they were a criminal.
Yeah, I got pulled over on my way to work years ago, and it was just right there on Montgomery Avenue. And the officer asked, he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I was like, "Oh, I'm on my way to work." He's like, "What's that?" And he points to my briefcase, my backpack.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Oh, it's just my work bag." And he's like, "Can you open it?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I go to reach over to open the bag, and his hand immediately goes to his holster.
Yeah.
And that, actually, it was that moment in time where I was like, "Oh, this guy." I'm like, I know that I'm fairly,
but he doesn't.
But he doesn't know that, know. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what they have to deal with all the time.
Yeah, the amount of officers that have lost their lives because of a bad call like that.
Yep.
Hang on a second here. It says, when my ex was giving birth to my daughter, I was coming from work. I got to the hospital, parked at the ER, went inside. Once inside, the lady told me to take the left elevator and go over to the fourth floor. Well, I messed up and I hopped on the right elevator, got to the fourth floor, and that was on the opposite side of the wall where all the doctors are and everything. Well, the cops were dealing with a shooting situation with a pregnant woman. So when I got off the elevator and ran around the corner, they grabbed me because I thought that I was the one that ran and that was detained earlier before I got there. And then they didn't finish the story. So,
but again, throw yourself into their situation. They don't know. So here's a pregnant woman. This is the person we're looking for. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So here he is now. And I assume they're going to drop. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got to go to an arraignment, and so they'll see if they move forward with that or not. But I had a couple of texts from other people who said that the players were apparently leading up to it in the practice rounds, like the route he was taking was kind of driving on the median, going around the traffic, like they were letting the players do that.
Oh, okay.
And he probably didn't know that there was an accident up ahead. And in true Scheffler form, when he was asked about this at press conference, he just kept leading, "Hey, this guy died." That's this is horrible that we're even talking about this, but that's the real tragedy here.
Who's his main competitor, the golf? Because he posted, apparently they posted Scheffler's weight and this information, and he goes, "There's no way he's 100."
Really?
Yeah, as a joke.
I don't know. I don't know.
I did read that the charges may be dropped.
Okay, all right, probably
replaced with manslaughter.
Hang on a second. Let me go to Nikki. Hi there, Nikki.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. What's up, Nikki?
So back in the late 90s, I went to the movie theaters down in Norristown and had to drive Ridge Pike all the way home to the Worcester area. And that night they had set up 3 separate DUI checkpoints.
Okay.
And me and my car full of girlfriends who are all about 17 had to hit and go through every single one of those 3 checkpoints.
Oh, man.
And each one was increasingly hilarious because what are the odds? So by the third one, we were all hysterically laughing and crying with tears, and they made me get out and do a field sobriety test because apparently I was acting really drunk.
Because you were laughing so hard at the fact you were stopped at the third one.
Right. So that, I was allowed to go on my way and I was fine, but it was how could this happen to anyone else?
Three. I've only encountered maybe 2 in my life. The
3 at one point?
Yeah, 3. Yeah,
one
3.
night?
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
3, all because Ridge Pike, it goes, turns into Main Street, goes through Norristown, all the way into Plymouth Meeting. So we were all the way down there. It just happened to go through 3 different townships worth of sobriety checkpoints.
I'll never forget the first time I was stopped at, and everyone's doing the checkpoint. The officer comes over and says, "You got anything to drink tonight?" And I said, "Officer, I can guarantee you that you've had more to drink this week than I've had in my entire life."
Yeah.
And okay, he got it quickly.
I do have a fear of getting pulled over while I have my dog in the car because they bark at everybody. You know, like
He's drunk.
But like I try not to even go through drive-throughs with the dog because they're like, "Row, row, 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 row." And I have a fear that as they get pulled over, the dog's gonna like start barking at the cop, and then the cop's gonna like freak out.
Cop doesn't know. Yeah. Doesn't know that's Reggie.
I will go to Bob next. Hey, Bob. Good morning. Bob, you are on the air, bud. Where's Bob? Robert. Is there
Bob!
Is your name? Is your
Bob? Bob! Good morning. Bob!
Strong Bob.
Hello.
Yeah, is this Bob?
Yes, this is Bob. This is actually Bob that built your chessboard.
Oh, hey, Bob Pigeon.
Hey, how's it going,
Bob,
buddy?
were you incapacitated? Because we were calling for you and you didn't answer.
Oh,
Earbuds were on, and I thought I put
earbud.
speaker on my phone.
I got you. Okay.
All right. So what's up, Bob? What do you want to tell us?
Okay.
Oh boy. We love you, Bob, but
it's not working, bud.
Not working, Bob.
Sorry. By the way, the chessboard that Bob brought us, we still have
Gorgeous.
this. We have a company-wide game that's going on.
Yeah.
Casey found a way to leave it sitting out in the Acme Lounge and to have it constantly being played.
I heard Deanna talking about it last night while she was on air.
Oh, yeah?
And it made me feel good. Yeah, because she actually doesn't know how to play chess. So she'll take a picture of the board and have her boyfriend make the move for her. Yeah. So, yeah.
I know what you're thinking about. What happened with Bob?
Yeah, I wanted to know what happened with Bob. I'm trying to think of other times that I've been pulled over for a good reason or not, and most of the time it's good reason.
Yeah.
And have received my ticket.
Most of the time.
Unfortunately, have not had a big misunderstanding happen to me personally.
So I got pulled over, and we were at Y100 Media. I got pulled over on Route 1. So the officer was waiting at the interchange of Route 1 and 252. So the lights go on. I know I'm pulled over, and I'm thinking in my mind, I'm going to do this guy solid. I don't want to have him pulled over on the side of the road at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I'll lead him on a high-speed chase.
We're only a mile away from the parking lot. And then I'm also in my mind thinking, I'm like, man, maybe if he sees that I pull in the Y100, maybe he'll let me go. I don't know. So I put my hazards on.
Yeah.
And I slow my speed down to like 50. So in my mind, I'm giving him the signal, hey, everything's good. I put my hazards on. That pissed him right off.
Yeah.
It had the exact opposite effect that I was going for. I was trying to pull over into a safe area for him.
That raises a question.
Yeah.
And Preston, were you going to ask this as well?
No,
Yeah.
I was going to say, even if you're in the middle of super fast speeds, pull your ass over, dude.
I learned that
they
the
will
hard way.
They will get on the horn and say they will tell you what to do.
Okay.
If they should have an intercom on any one of those vehicles, and if they want you out of the area and tell you to go somewhere, they'll tell you.
They will, yeah.
Otherwise, I don't care if there's no shoulder or nothing. Pull your ass over.
Pull over. Steve doesn't have his reverb effect.
That's what I would do anyway.
Yeah.
Because
I was young, dumb.
No, it makes total sense, and I get it. I get the idea behind that. Yeah.
I always, initially when I first started learning to drive, I thought, oh, okay, pull into the safest spot where you can pull over.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Preston's right. If they'll let you know what they want you to do.
Yeah, I led him on a low-speed chase, which he did not appreciate.
You'll get in less trouble by pulling over quickly than going, a mile or so to the exit to get off. And I understand you were trying to do him a solid, so he didn't have to get out of his car and walk out in the middle of a busy street.
If you want to be very accommodating, if you can wrap a zip tie around your wrists.
Yes.
In the interim.
Your own wrist. So here, I'm
pull it with your teeth.
halfway done with it. Let me go to Bill. Hi, Bill. Good morning.
Good morning. You guys rock.
Oh, thank you, Bill. What's up, man?
Hey, thanks for making the morning commute so tolerable. You guys are really awesome. Really appreciate that. But so real quick, we were vacationing with the three little kids up in Waterton Provincial Park in Canada, which borders Glacier, and we're coming back after a day of hiking back in the United States. It's a very quiet border crossing. And we're pulling up, and I tell my three kids in the back, say, look, if the officers here ask any questions, just be very honest with them and look them straight in the eye and answer whatever questions they got. So they pull us over, they check passports and whatnot. Then they ask me to roll down the back window of the car, and they pick up my one really, really quiet, somewhat introverted kid, and they ask her what's your address? And she freezes. And I say to her, remember what I told you to tell the border officer?
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Next thing you know, okay, sir, everybody out of the car. They went through every piece of luggage right there on the side of the road. And my wife and I were just kind of laughing at it because we didn't have any dinner reservations or anything that night. But,
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Not what to say in a border crossing.
Officer, really, we're pressed for time. We're supposed to sell her in Missouri. Yeah,
All right,
geez,
thanks,
yeah.
Bill. Appreciate
and
it.
that's what
man.
they're looking for.
see,
They're
yeah.
looking for trafficking, human trafficking. They're looking for all that
Sure.
stuff,
Yeah.
and they're looking for all the signs. Like you raise the why they'll come up and alongside of the car and touch the trunk.
Yeah.
You know, they're checking for vibration if someone is in the trunk.
Here's a couple texts coming in. Somebody said, I'm dumb as F for saying to pull over no matter where you are. But another person says, hey, I heard about, as a female, I've heard too many horror stories about people impersonating police and pulling people over. So
what is...
I thought it was okay to do what Casey did to pull into a well-lit area / somewhere really
I thought so,
populated.
too.
So if you're talking at night, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
And I think you
so
can
you're
call.
dumb as F or accurate.
I think you can call, too, and verify if it's an actual police officer. I don't know
Okay.
if the police
So how-
officer's going to love that, but you can do
How
that.
does that protocol work then? So let's say you're pulled over. So pull over, and then that's a good point. If someone's pulled over and they're worried, can they immediately say to I'm verifying you are an officer? Or will that hold water?
Right.
Or say something police-ish.
That's a good question, and I don't have the answers to these. I just always assume that the discretion was up to the officer and that they make the decision. It's what they're hired for. It's what they're, they make the decision at that point in time whether that person is being cooperative or if they're being, if they're impeding things
Right.
or I don't know,
If
man.
you're a police officer, finish this sentence. Stop or I'll blow.
Have lunch.
Yeah.
No, I'm leaving.
I'm out of here.
You lose. It's shoot.
Somebody else says, just FYI, that's on a per cop basis. Pull over where you feel safe. You can also call and relay the information. Oh, okay.
You're definitely getting a ticket if you do
I
that.
would think that if
Yeah,
you're
that's
on
the thing.
if you're on a trafficked road, say there's certain points of city line where there's no place to pull over.
Yeah.
No place. You're supposed to pull over and stop there and make. I would think out of deference to the police officer that would make it more dangerous.
Yeah. Pull over onto a side street.
Yes.
Or something. Yeah.
Somebody said here, call 911 and only open the window slightly and show the officer you're calling 911.
Okay, or do that. Or Kathy, can they drive them over to your friend's house who sleeps with police officers to get out of
They'll get out of the ticket. Yeah, not a problem.
That was down at the shore, I think.
Yeah, it was. Heading into-
Maybe that's
heading into
inconvenient.
I
Maybe that's
know a
annoying.
very loose woman who will sleep with you.
You're trying to bribe me, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay, let's go. Wow. Okay. Well, interesting. It's all. I'm not really sure. I don't have the answers.
At least we
for
solved
folks.
that.
Yeah, I'm glad we solved
Yeah.
that.
We all came to a conclusion.
We don't know
that there
anything.
was no conclusion.
Yes,
that there is no
but
conclusion.
at least one pro golfer is free
today.
Yes, out of Shawshank,
and he didn't win at the
See?
PGA Championship.
Well, he had a
See?
really good Friday and
did.
not so good Saturday.
Right. But anyhow, it was interesting. But I knew, I had a feeling that there had to have been some kind of misunderstanding in that whole.
Yeah, it'd be like if you heard that.
Sorry, Barry's a police officer.
There we go.
You wanna to
Thank
him?
you.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do that. Hi, Barry. Good morning.
Hi, Grandmom.
Hi, Grandma.
All right, help us, please, Barry. What do you suggest?
So, Steve was just talking about Route 1, how there's no place to pull over. You can just pull over to the farthest right lane, and the cop will block so that, it's safe for them to get out of the road. And if they feel like it's not safe, they will direct you, hey, pull up to that, Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, up to the right, or whatever, that next little street up there.
Okay, so best bet is to pull over immediately, and then if it's not safe, you will be directed to go somewhere else.
Exactly. And cops are trained to position their cars so that in the event that the cop car gets struck, it doesn't cause too much damage to the person that's being pulled over.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Barry, where are you a police officer?
in a little town of 2 million people.
Barry, what about if we were talking about like females who, or somebody impersonating a cop and they don't feel comfortable? Can they drive to somewhere, where it's well lit and call 911?
Yeah. So if you don't feel comfortable, say it's an unmarked police car,
right?
I would call 911 right away. They will. 911 is able to figure out what's going on. They'll talk to that cop, and there are some times where the 911 dispatcher will say, "Yes, that is a legit cop. You can pull over." And then, 9 times out of 10, a marked car will come up, depending on where you're at.
Just to help verify. All right.
And then are you definitely giving that person a ticket because they called 911 because they didn't think you were a cop?
No, not at all. Like, I'd rather you do that than not stop at all.
So you would
we get notified.
Go ahead.
We get notified when you guys are calling about us.
All right.
And in reality, even if it is an unmarked police car, that cop that's pulling you over should have a uniform on 9 times out of 10.
Okay, it's good to know that.
Can you then get arrested for calling using your phone while driving?
Well, you've stopped, right?
No. I mean, I hope that cop's going to use common sense.
Press, did you have that story?
Calling, for safety.
Well, it was in a drive-through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you wouldn't. There was a story that Preston had, Barry, about somebody in a drive-through who is using the app to order ahead of time.
It was in Canada.
There you go. They have
Mounties.
They have a heavy moose population.
There you go. That's the issue.
There you go.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Barry, thank you, bud. We appreciate it.
Yep, you got it.
Let's see it. By the way, here's a text that says, "Ask Nick about when I pulled him over on Belmont at 76." Nick's not here today.
Which time?
Yeah, which time? Wow. All right.
I think we've got a passenger driver with a huge head.
Yeah, I think he got pulled over recently, though.
Did he?
Maybe
Really?
that's about, yeah.
Does he have a lead foot?
He says he doesn't, but I've driven behind him. He does.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when he was in his little mini.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was zipping around.
Zipping around in that thing?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Well, anyhow, interesting situation. So that was what we're talking about. We do need to take a break. I want to remind you, Radnor High School, you're one of the last schools for coolest teacher because we draw one more tomorrow and then Wednesday, and then we are done with it for the year. So make sure that if you go to Radnor, you text the word teacher to 39333. We'll send you the voting link. We're going to break and come back in a second. And some bizarre file stories will be next. So stay put.
Yes, and I designed it that way to make it very easy. As you can see, anyone can find a white T-shirt. The white jeans can be a little harder to find, but they're not always that hard. Even painter's pants will do if you don't have anything else. And if you throw on a wig and a bloody nose, and you're good to go.
But generally, you go with denim for the pants?
I do.
White denim?
Yes, the denim is durable, and I need durability. I need support. I need that harder, thicker fabric.
And denim absolutely serves that bill. So.
It does. It really does.
The costume is cool enough that people in the know, you can kind of say, okay, they know. And other people have no clue. So you can break up the crowd immediately.
Yes. It's a litmus test for partiers.
Right.
Yeah. I used to wear white pants all the time when I was a
Did
kid.
you?
Yes.
You and
Now,
Mr. Rourke.
They weren't denim. They were just like, whatever kind of fabric, cotton or something like that. But
I can't because 9 times out of 10 I'm walking around with skid marks and I
No,
just
that's the
can't
point.
let them.
That's the whole. Those are the hard-earned party stains. You got to showcase those proudly.
They're like bruises, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. We wanted to welcome somebody else here into the studio because she's a massive fan. She produces our afternoon show, so she came in very, very early for this. Sarah Parker is here with us this morning.
Hi.
And Sarah made it a point to be here nice and early in the morning. What is it you love about Andrew WK?
Oh my gosh, the fact that he is so very positive, especially nowadays, so many crappy things are happening in this world, right? You look at the news and you just get upset, but Andrew is the shining light of positivity. So I'm thinking that perhaps you should explain what partying means to you, because someone who's not familiar with Andrew WK might think that's just drinking all the time. So what does partying mean to you?
Well, it certainly could mean drinking all the time for someone. I'm not really here to tell someone what it is. I guess I chose that word because I thought it was actually something that everyone did understand, that everyone was familiar with that. It didn't take a lot of explanation or elaboration, that a 4-year-old or a 94-year-old, I should say a 93-year-old or a 33-year-old, they all understand in some way how to enjoy the fact that they're not dead. And that's really the beginning and the end of the party mindset. You can apply it as vastly or as simply simply as possible.
There's a great video of Andrew. If you haven't seen it on YouTube, you can find it. He's being interviewed, and the interviewer is asking a pretty long, drawn-out question. And in that time, Andrew's face contorts into a scowl of sorts, and then you answer the question very quickly. And it's hilarious. It's got over like 3 million views. But are you, faces? Is that something you were always good at as a kid? Were you making
Gurning?
Yeah.
Yeah, hamming it up. I mean, the face is a very fun thing if you can control it. I don't have complete control. I think in that video you're talking about, maybe some kind of demon took control of my face. But
very much so.
Let them have at it.
Let them out.
Yeah, let them have their fun with my face.
You seem to be obsessed with pizza.
Well, who isn't really? I mean, even the person who hates pizza the most, they still are engaged in the phenomenon.
You have a guitar look like a pizza slice.
I have a pizza slice guitar.
Which is pretty badass.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you to the great folks at ESP Guitars for making it for me.
Yeah, very nice.
We just made another one, too.
Yeah, a taco guitar, right?
That's right. Yes. Literally, it's just days old. It's still a very fresh. Yeah, I've only played it, I think, maybe 5 times now on stage. We just got it during this tour.
Okay. Hey, Andrew, with your signature look, the whites and the bloody nose, did the bloody nose happen by accident at some point? And then you were like, hey, that looks kind of cool.
That was part of the initial vision I was presented with, so I executed that in a rather painful way. But I have gotten bloody noses on stage by accident, much to my dismay.
Right.
Most of them were accidentally self-inflicted, meaning I kicked myself in my own face. When I was trying to do a very impressive high kick in New Orleans, for example, I saw a friend in the crowd I hadn't seen in years. I said, I'm going to really blow his mind. I'm going to do the highest kick of all. And it was so high that I almost kicked through my own head.
Wow.
But I got a bloody nose. I did break my nose that night as well, which, as you can imagine, is rather painful. But the adrenaline got going and the blood started flowing, and people thought it was all just part of the show.
Hey, listen, man, thanks for getting up early and stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about partying.
Of course. Have a great time in Philadelphia. Andrew WK, friend. We love this guy who's in our studio. He's a great guest. He's a great star, and he's got a film that he is promoting. It's coming up on Netflix, and it is called Wheelman. Let's welcome him back to our studio, Frank Grillo.
Awesome.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah, I miss you guys.
We miss you as well, bud.
You came in and you blew us away the first time we had you in the studio. Great stories and full of energy. And we, obviously you were attached to something. We were just, it was the Purge and obviously the Marvel universe as well. Got to tell you, man, the Wheelman is a solid movie.
Yeah, you saw it?
I did see it on we got the advance. It's going to be on Netflix, which is turning out to be Valhalla for these kind of films.
It's amazing. I mean, this film, cost $5 million. My buddy Joe Carnahan and I.
Joe Carnahan is the Gray.
Yeah, the Gray and Smoking Aces and Narc and
love his stuff.
Yeah, he's great. So we're partners with this company War Party, and we made this movie for like $5.5 million,
which is insane because but that's the deal. You're producing this movie.
Yeah,
is your first
and really we boots on the ground, like we produced the movie.
Yeah, so you did it in Boston.
In Boston,
okay,
at night.
That's a point I want to make about this movie, which makes it so unique. You have the first time director Jeremy Rush, who wrote the screenplay.
By the way, the guy was a PA for 13 years. Right. Never directed anything.
This idea that he has, which is very cool. That so you're in this car and you're a wheelman. You're a driver for hire for criminals.
Right.
You're going to go on this, you take these guys out, they're going to rob a bank, but you get this call. The guys, when they get back in the car, are going to kill you. And now there's this stuff, and you're off and running, and it has everything I love about a period of time in Hollywood, 70s movies.
That's it.
Like a high.
Wait a minute. Did you talk to somebody?
No, but you when you turn badass, there's a scene where you grab a guy, you pull up. But to get back to my original point, there's angles from the car. When you leave the car, a lot of times you're seeing you through the windshield, and you're hearing. And you bring the guy back, and so the car itself is a character in the thing, and so you have your claustrophobia, but it's also your one way of getting away from the crap.
Yeah.
And there are angles and stuff that I thought were just really brilliant for a first-time director. I'm like,
that was all him too. This guy was knocking on trailer doors for 13 years and writing scripts, and he sent it to Carnahan, and Carnahan read it. And gave him some notes, and they started dialogue, and he sent it to me, and I was like, man, this is really interesting. Like, this could be really bad or really good. We brought it to our agency. They brought it to Cannes, And Netflix bought it like the next day, and we were making the movie in a month and a half. That guy was knocking on doors for 13 years.
But it took like
if not for Joe Carnahan, it wouldn't have happened.
What did you not anticipate being a producer of a movie that caught you off guard?
You know, at one point, this movie was going to be 23 days, which is kind of Herculean in itself. And we were like, I think we could save money. Let's make it 19 days. So I shot like 35 pages of dialogue the last 2 days of the film.
Wow.
So we could save like $11.
Well, because you're on the other side of the the check now, and you're now to save as an actor, you might piss him on as I need a little bit more time or whatever. On the producer side, he's saying, can we do this for cheaper? I have to bring this up too. Doing the research on this movie, Wolf Warrior 2, which is, explain where this is. Now, we have not heard much about this movie.
No, because it's not in America.
But globally.
How about this? So I do a movie in China last year, right? And it's a big deal because you want a Chinese kind of presence. But there had been a Wolf Warrior 1. It was very successful, made like $100 million. And they paid me a lot of money to go to China. Joe and Anthony Russo produced it. They're the directors of Captain America.
Yeah.
They said, go do this. It's our whole stunt crew is going to really... And so I went and did it and made a ton of money. The movie's going to make $1 billion.
Oh, my God.
It's like the highest...
It is the second highest domestic grossing film ever behind Star Wars. Yeah.
What?
And I play a character named Big Daddy. I'm the bad American.
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
you have to
Okay.
see the jacket I'm wearing.
All right, we're looking at the
show it.
We're looking at the trailer.
This was all
of it
shot
right
in
now.
China, by the way. I am, and I'm going to say this on the radio, the biggest American star.
China.
Yeah, this movie is a phenomenon.
I was reading the numbers on it, like surpassing.
Yeah.
You got to realize globally where this movie falls into the list.
We live in this tiny little bubble in the United States,
Right.
And there's there are more people in China, meaning there's more money to be made, I guess, over there.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens, and they talk about you opening up in other markets and so on and so forth. Their movie opens up in India and does well. The Bollywood, is a
Yeah,
whole
I mean,
other-
this is literally the second. This is only behind Star Wars. So, like, Joe Russo called me and goes, "You are a unicorn now in China. We're gonna go make Lethal Weapon. It's with you and a Chinese movie star. We're gonna go do Lethal Weapon next year."
So when you play a bad guy and you're known for you're sort of a bad guy, and
I played it campy, like I was
over the top.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I was
that's
in
gotta be
China. I didn't
great.
think anybody was going to see it. I was like Al Pacino in Scent of a Woman. Hooah!
That's great.
Look, that's Big Daddy.
Oh man!
Yeah, I represent everything bad about the world.
Wow.
Hey, where did you guys shoot for Captain America: Civil War? Was that in Africa?
Part of it was in. I think part of it was in Africa. I didn't. I was always in Atlanta.
And by the way, Crossbones is not dead.
Is he dead?
I don't know. He seems dead.
Come on, man.
He seems dead.
Dude,
Seems dead.
I was just down at Marvel, with every said nobody mentioned that he wasn't dead. He's dead.
They don't. That's one of the.
I think he's definitely dead.
He's definitely dead. He's dead. Man.
That
he's
uniform's too freaking.
No, he's dead. I know. So, I'm too old. Listen, I think at some point they're gonna have to change the Avengers. They're getting a little long in the tooth.
Can I ask a question?
When they first get their AARP card,
I had a question about your scene in Civil War.
Yeah.
The spit on the side of your mouth. Was that makeup spit or was that your?
No, it's real spit. I have it right now. I get excited. I'm really sweating right now.
That's got to be wild, though. Just listen. You are part of one of the greatest movie fights ever filmed.
Yeah.
That elevator fight, which we know you had a lot of sway over.
Yeah.
I can watch that over and over. That's got to be a sense of pride for you.
It's fun. It's all fun.
And knowing also now that you could just demolish Chris Evans.
He's so skinny now. I just saw him. He's so beautiful. But I was with all of them. Like, they were all there. Every Marvel character was assembled. It was like 45 people. Like, I'm sitting with Cheadle and William Hurt. You don't realize how many people have been in those movies. It's amazing. Yeah.
Wow. I think I would cry if I was in the presence of all of them.
Yeah, I mean, it was fascinating.
All right, let's hear it for Frank Grillo. Regis Philbin did not like to chat with Kelly Ripa when the cameras weren't rolling.
What?
No. It's not the way it sounds, and we all will understand this. Regis had a mandate. She said, absolutely no talking off camera.
So save it for the TV, right?
Yeah.
I'm such a professional.
She tells the New York Times about her dynamic with Philbin. She said he had almost a superstition about it. You save it for the show.
Save it for the show.
She said,
Kelly. Look at me, right in the eyes. Save it for the show.
She'd said, I'd be like, good morning. And
Shut up!
He'd say, save it for...
Shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut. Shut.
Save it for...
Shut the mouth now.
You weren't very nice about it.
Look, shut the mouth closed. Shut.
So she would... he would say, save it for the air.
Save it.
For details, member FDIC. And that's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
Marissa pulled up the official shortcast, and it's looking like Friday high of 71 degrees, sunshine, and clouds mixed, and light winds 5 to 10 miles an hour.
Fine.
Sounds perfect. That's good.
Fine.
Yeah.
In fact, if it's not too oppressively hot, then people don't succumb to their inebriation as quickly.
That's right.
Yeah.
It might be perfectly cool.
Buy him a little time.
All right, let's do Bizarre File stories.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by Mini Melts of America, breaking ice cream news. You can get Mini Melts ice cream delivered right to your door on the Wawa app, and you're just a few clicks away from enjoying your favorite Mini Melts flavor. Download the Wawa app today. It's a pretty wild story here. A homeowner defending his wounded wife grabbed a 7-inch knife and, quote, went to work on the accused gunman.
Oh, man.
Cutting him to pieces, according to Florida investigators. The suspect was, quote, very much deceased by the time the deputies could get to him.
Yeah, he's very dead.
According to Sheriff Paul Blackman. It happened around 8:30 p.m. inside of a home at South Orlando. Deputies found 2 possible victims, female and a male, both 69 years of age. Both victims had what can be described as serious injuries. It was discovered that Lindsey Glenn used a ruse to gain entry into the victim's residence. Once inside the residence, he produced a firearm and shot the female victim in the face.
Oh, my God.
The male victim, seeing his wife shot, armed himself with what is described as a 7-inch garden knife. And in the 2 minutes that followed, the homeowner, quote, went to work with the knife, overpowering the suspect and killing him, officials said. Ultimately, the suspect, Lindsey Glenn, was cut to pieces, the sheriff said. When deputies arrived, the homeowner directed them to the 62-year-old's body inside of the house. Details of how the homeowner was injured in this struggle were not revealed. He was treated at a hospital and released. His wife was hospitalized in stable condition. The suspect had a criminal history that includes 12 felony convictions and 6 stints in state prison.
Yeah.
For charges including burglary and robbery.
Horrifying.
But the hubby took him out. Wow. Much lighter story. And I don't know, this doesn't necessarily belong in the Bizarre File, but I want to make sure that I got this story out there. A commencement speaker at the University of Massachusetts Dartmouth gave the graduates some inspiring words for their futures and $1,000 cash each to get them started.
Yeah, this is very cool.
Robert Hale Jr., the billionaire founder and CEO of Quincy-based Granite Telecommunications, sent the students into a frenzy when he told them each graduate who crossed the stage on Thursday would receive a $500 envelope to keep as a gift, and a second $500 envelope was also presented to each grad to be given to someone in need or a charity or cause close to them.
Me, I'm in need.
Yeah. You can interpret that how you like.
Yeah.
Hale, who stuffed the envelopes into 2 giant duffel bags that he brought onto stage with him, told the crowd that for him and his wife, the greatest joys, he said, we've ever had in our lives has been the gift of giving. These trying times have heightened the need for sharing, caring, and giving. Our community and our world need our help more than ever. A total of 1,200 graduates, 40% of whom were first-generation students, received 2 checks that day.
Imagine if you're the speaker that has to follow him.
Yeah, right. Hale, according to Forbes, has an estimated net worth of $5.4 billion.
I have an old Blockbuster card.
A protester whose testicle exploded,
man,
when an LAPD officer shot him with a, quote, less than lethal firearm during a George Floyd demonstration in 2020, received a $1.5 million settlement from the city of Los Angeles. Oh, my God. The payout to Benjamin Montemayor is the largest settlement related to the protests that erupted in Los Angeles and across the world after George Floyd was murdered.
Oh, my balls!
The LA Times reported that after reviewing a copy of the settlement, the city did not admit any liability. Montemayor had been protesting on Hollywood Boulevard for several hours on June 2nd, 2020, when at least 50 police officers descended upon his group and began firing munitions at the crowd. The officer, Henry Felix, shot Montemayor in the groin with a 40-millimeter foam projectile.
My balls!
Causing such severe damage that it required a surgical procedure to reattach portions of his genitals.
Wow, that's not going to look right.
Oh,
my balls!
my balls. Man, oh man. But he got $1.5 million of that whole thing. Nasty. In Florida, we're going back to Florida, as we often do.
Yes.
A group of homeowners in Longwood, Florida, say that they are at severe risk of flooding after a woman in their neighborhood filled a stormwater pipe with concrete.
She closed off the pipe?
Yeah.
What kind of lunatic does that?
Water remained pooled on Thursday, more than 24 hours after a storm system passed through the area. Currently, the only place for water to go back is into the air. And local government agencies say there's nothing they can do about it. Normally, rainwater in the neighborhood flows down a drain and out to a retention pond. However, last month, the homeowner next to the drainage pipe hired a crew to fill it with concrete.
Well, isn't that a municipal pipe? She didn't have any right to do that, right?
Actually, in kind of a gray area. It escalated in a 10-year dispute and took it to another level.
I want to fill my hole.
Robin Rodriguez, the HOA board member, said she believes that we put the pipe in, and so she said, nobody gave me authority, and I am going to stop it up. Rodriguez said the problem dates back to when the community was founded. The developer separated the houses on one side of the street from the HOA and ran the drainage pipe through an easement in between the two of the homes. Rodriguez provided maps and records showing that the easement and the pipe have existed since the 1980s. The home, and I get a little confused with this. But the homeowner said the maps presented by Rodriguez showed a different pipe running underneath her house, even though the pipe was drawn where the disputed pipe sits. She claimed the pipe used to go under her neighbor's property, but someone moved it to her land while she was out of the house. The homeowner couldn't provide any details, photographs, or records proving that that work had happened. She had said they've taken a shortcut, an inexpensive way through my property without consent. The truth is that they really need to take care of the drainage system. Local government agencies say that their hands are tied because the dispute concerns private property.
Interesting. All right.
So, I don't
there's
know.
more to this than meets the eye.
It's a pipe running under her house. She's never going to see it. It's never going to do it. It's never going to impact her in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. She just chose to let this bother her for no reason whatsoever.
An attorney said that because of the easement, no one needs permission to build, repair, or replace a drainage system. They say a judge could hold a woman liable for repairs and any flood damages that occur.
How do you repair that? It's sealed.
Yeah, I don't know what's
You got to put another one in.
You know, they repaved my street last year, maybe within the year, and the grade is not proper. And so now...
It's causing flooding?
Yes.
Wow.
So now the water that would normally flow down the street into the... what's that? The
Fraggle.
The Fraggle. No, the thing.
The drain? The grate?
The drain.
Yeah.
It stops about 5 yards from the drain.
And pools?
And pools.
Oh, man.
And I don't know who to talk. You know, the HOA, he's like, yeah, that's not our thing. And I'm like, well, whose is it? Do I got to call Marple Township and say, hey, you need to fix this grade? I don't, you know.
Maybe.
Or maybe I should just do what this lady did and just
put a bunch
my
of
own
concrete
there.
Fix
Make
it
your
yourself.
own.
Yeah.
All right. That's the last story in the Bizarre File for you. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll see if you've been listening, been paying attention. Oh, you know, stop. Hold the president.
Wait. I'm going to pause this.
Concert announcement.
Oh.
Forgot about this. So, our Word of the Week prize, we have not been able to reveal what it is because it has to do with this announcement right here and now. So, we are excited to mention this concert. The show is going to be September 7th at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. The tickets will go on sale on Thursday. Normally, we have tickets on sale on Friday. This will be on Thursday. MMR rocks The Killers.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Killers are going to be playing, like I said, Saturday, September 7th, Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. And, tickets on sale Thursday at 10 a.m. through Ticketmaster. You can go to WMMR.com for information and a chance to win tickets. Plus, Wednesday there will be a pre-sale, and we have the password for you.
Coming out
at WMMR.com.
Nice.
Do not miss that opportunity to get in on the pre-sale because he's probably going to sell out. So 4-pack of tickets are what we're giving away for the Word of the Week prize. And again, the show, The Killers, Saturday, September 7th, Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Tickets on sale Thursday at 10 a.m. Ticketmaster, WMMR.com for Wednesday's pre-sale password and another chance to win tickets. So, Killers coming to town. Great tune. All right, we will take a break. Oh, never mind. Be back in a moment.
See what you've been hearing with WMMR.com's video on demand.
Shut!
I swear to God.
I will kill you where you stand. I will cut your whole goddamn head off. I just purchased a scimitar. This very reason. To just slice your head off. So shh.
After he left live,
Nothing?
Michael Strahan came aboard and his unexpected eggs from Good Morning
She
America.
can't understand what he says, so.
So it didn't matter.
So it was her saying don't talk, yeah. Shut up.
Just put your slicker on and talk to that slob.
Ari Lewandijk Jr. is about to meet 29 potential future wives.
Oh, boy. Is he the new Bachelor?
The Bachelor season 22 is about to kick off, and in the running this time are 4 Laurens, 2 Brittany's, and 3 real estate agents.
I'm Brittany, and I'm just looking for that someone special.
The 36-year-old race car driver, there you go, was first introduced to viewers on season 8.
Hey,
of
would
The
this show
Bachelor.
work with ugly people? I mean, straight
not
up.
at all for 1 second.
Can they just try it? Can like a smaller,
No one wants
lesser
to see-
network just do it with ugly people?
No, they did. Rock of Love.
No, I mean like actual ugly people.
You know what? They have shows that are average people, like that Married at First Sight thing.
Yeah.
And those people aren't. So they're just kind of average looking. So and people watch that, but it does have the added level of they've never met before and they're going to try to stay together.
Regular people. It's just you have these stunning people. Many of them very loose sexually.
Right.
You have these dream dates that no one on earth ever goes on, but people on The Bachelor and Bachelorette.
Yeah.
And
But could you
people
imagine,
watch.
like The Bachelor shows up, and then you got 20 or 30 bachelorettes, and then
Mama June Shannon gets out of the limo.
Some of the bachelorettes are like, you know what, I'm out. You know, so immediately the 30 goes down to 20.
Well, that would be cool if at the point, but they've already it's the formula works so well.
I know.
It's been on, even though it's 90,000 different iterations of
This
it.
is season 22.
Yeah,
And I don't know how many
it's
different
showing no
versions.
signs of slowing down. Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise.
Imagine Casey if the Bachelor shows up and he looks like that doctored picture of Tom Cruise that makes him a little fat and he's wearing a baseball hat.
Or booger.
Yes, something like that.
It's not gonna work. So anyhow,
I have to go. The limo's still running.
yeah.
People with great personalities, all
No one
across
cares.
the board. Yeah.
Look at this picture here.
Yes.
That guy.
That's it. I love it.
I'd tune in. I totally would have watched that show. At least the first episode.
It's a fantasy for everyone. I got just what love is really like.
But if you're one of the girls and you show up and Fat Tom Cruise is waiting for you instead of Ari Lewandijk Jr., you got ripped off on that season. You're gone.
Yeah.
You're out of there. So anyhow, he was first introduced on season 8 of The Bachelorette when he vied for the affection of Emily Maynard. So he goes. I love
you.
He goes.
I want to be with you.
He goes.
Forever.
I love you.
I love you. I look into the future and I see you and I together, like two people together.
Poetry.
I want to walk down the aisle with you, the same aisle, and get married. I want to write our own vows and use ventriloquist dummies to convey them.
Please welcome Mr. M. Night Shyamalan.
Hey guys, I like the music.
You like that?
That's a cello actually played through, through an electric. thing to
that's
make
really cool,
to
yeah.
Make it sound like a growl. That's,
Oh, really?
That's
Music from Split, yeah.
Yeah, this was. Hang on, wait.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see
now
that
you
on
can
that-
hear it.
Yeah, and the composer actually plays the cello. He played it himself, like in a bathroom, like off the tiles, and you can anyway.
Who's the composer? No. I mean,
Wes Stortson. I got him from the HBO show The Jinx. You know, making.
Yes.
So just an amazing talent.
I want to talk about or ask you about Split, and so I don't want no spoiler alerts, but I recently went to a screening of Unbreakable. Do you look at Unbreakable differently than you did 10 years ago?
Split and Unbreakable are very, very connected, and they've always been. Even when I wrote the original movie, both these movies were in my head and actually on paper.
Okay.
So it was just one of the things when I started doing smaller movies, which give me a lot of creative control, and for me, whether it's even just in my own head, a sense of being able to be daring and different and original and not worry because the budgets are low and I can do something that's unexpected. I felt like, wow, I could do this other part of this story in a very unusual way. In fact, in a way that hasn't been done before, which is not even tell you how it's connected to something else unless you come see the movie and then forbid it to be mentioned in the marketing. It was really strange, I'll tell you, because I write only originals, but this is the first time I've ever written something where I already knew the characters, so it was very bizarre. Like, as soon as I started writing, I knew all the characters' voices and how they were going to react. So it was a very different process. And,
Okay.
Yeah, really interesting.
Well, speaking of that, I apologize, but how did you come up with all the different voices and characters for the one character in Split?
Yeah, James plays, if you guys haven't seen it, Split is about James's character and who suffers from DID, and he has 23 personalities, and there's a 24th one coming, which is a very threatening personality. And in this movie, he plays... I don't want to tell you how much because I think it's going to be fun, but it's an enormous number.
But that's crazy to have to come up with 23 characters for one.
You know what? Really, it's not any different for me as a screenwriter because they are who they are. So
they're real characters. They're just being funneled through one person.
Yeah, it's James that has the problem. I have to. I'm just writing different characters.
I watched the Blu-ray had a different ending. Which I find this stuff fascinating.
Yeah.
And one you didn't go with, and it was the exact right call to go with the one you went with. But do you when you shoot those things and you actually just sit there to see them side by side and run them, do you go, that's it, or are you back and forth?
Well, I mean, part of art is listening, right?
Yeah.
So you can have an agenda. Again, if I write you this movie about you guys, you five guys right here in this thing, I can have an agenda. Oh, I want Preston to be this person and that person, and but you have to really listen because the character of Preston or the character of Kathy will start talking to you and telling you something, and if you're being arrogant in the process, it's literally in a relationship, and if you're not listening to say, oh wow, the Kathy character wants to be the dominant character, it doesn't want to be the way you were thinking of her, and so it's listening to it and making the movie and looking at it, you go, wow, I thought James's character was going to do this, or I thought Bruce's character was going to go this way, but actually it's Sam's character that wants to do this, and that process of I've gotten better at listening.
You sort of step aside and let the voices come. I know it seems very
it all sounds
bizarre,
really bizarre
and overly artsy, but I would understand that when you're writing for multiple characters. I mean, they're all living within you.
Yeah, so James, we were doing a scene, and just a random moment, just to give you a sense of what I'm talking about, and James was playing the 9-year-old boy, and he did something that he didn't know he was going to do. He was walking down the street, and he did something with something on the side of the building, and a half second before he did it, he didn't know he was going to do that. Right? And then he did it, and then he reacted to it, and like a 9-year-old, and it was hilarious and wonderful, but he didn't pre-think that. He was being the character and listening, basically, is what I'm saying. What does the character think? Oh, wow, the character's eyes went to this thing that happened to walk by. And that in that same way, being present as, having empathy. I guess as an artist, that's really what you're cultivating is your ability to have empathy. I've always, coveted the opportunity to do something where there was a pre-existing mythology and something so well thought out. Why Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and even Star Wars, Lucas's Star Wars, why it's so effective is the backstory has been thought out so much. The backstory is the front story. All that work has been done. And when you guys see something on television or a movie that rings a little hollow, that's because the person walked in the room and that person didn't exist before they walked into the room.
So with that kind of just leaving things, just letting it funnel through, can we expect to see Glass face off against Stuart Little?
Maybe.
Is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible. I roast her a little for you fans out there. That's why that joke actually is funny.
I'd like to thank you. I'm a new member of the board of directors of the Greater Philadelphia Film Office. I work with Sharon Pinkerton now. So I came on board this year, and now I've been brought into the fold of all things film and television in Philadelphia. What she does is amazing, but it's people like you that still highlight this area as a place to film, a place to create, a place that's got wonderful landscapes and backgrounds and all that stuff, and trying to to keep that coming into the area.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, obviously, we shot a scene with Bruce down in South Philly, and we were in this house, this row home, and we came out, and there's 2,000 people outside, and they were like bringing us cheesesteaks and pizzas. By the way, I ate it all. So it was so good. I mean, I'm a Philly boy. I mean, I'm a classic Philly boy. It's October. We're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yes, we are. M. Night Shyamalan, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man. Yesterday, we got on a discussion for a moment about weird phone lines.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, well, what was it?
It was you.
Yeah, there was a number we used to call that would just, and it was something stupid to do as a kid, that when you would call it, it would dial, or it would ring once, and then it would pick up, and it would go, I mean, over and over, nonstop.
It had to be like maybe for service guys working on the lines, like a calibration thing.
Maybe that was
something like that.
Something along
and you
those
happened upon it.
No, but the reason I brought this up is because Steve came across now. One of the things is not just free phone lines like the time and temperature and 800 PHL gate. There was a time in history where the 900 exchange was quite popular, and those were paid phone calls. You mentioned celebrity ones.
Yeah, we have a couple of them.
You ready for this one?
Yeah, which one you have?
Here we go.
Audio Entertainment presents pop music's new sensation, Paula Abdul.
Ian almost sounded like a seagull. We were just watching. Marissa had posted on Instagram a collage of last year's Seagull Screech contestants at the opening of the Jersey Shore broadcast from Keenan's Irish Pub, which is, oh my God, it's Friday. It's this Friday. Whoa. And we've had people sign up, and hopefully we'll get everybody out there to participate in this Screech Off. It's just one of the various contests that we're going to be doing through the course of the morning, and toasting you and toasting the summer and thanking our friends at Coors Light and at Keenan's and all the other good things that will happen. It's tradition.
I believe this will be our finest moment.
Ah.
Yeah.
I believe this to be our finest hour, sir. So we hope that you will be joining us, and it's from Coors Light. Choose chill. Please enjoy Coors Light responsibly. But that is this Friday, Eggs with Peg. So we're ready to fire that bitch up. All right, we're going to ask today's lesson question, and we are going to give away a pair of Maurice Pierce same-day ride and water park combo tickets. It's this week's big friggin' deal, by the way, and I'll tell you what that is. But in the meantime, you can win it for free if you can tell me what color Steve believes everyone poops. 215-263-WMMR. We were talking about inner voices earlier this morning, and Steve believed that everyone poops this particular color. What is that? 215-263-WMMR. We said that around 7:30 this morning. If you were listening, call. While you call, we'll do the trash.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you by Sports and Social at Live Casino. Philly Fridays at Sports and Social Philly. Every Friday home game, enjoy free caricature drawings, Budweiser specials, giveaways, memorabilia, and more. Visit sportssocialphilly.com. What's up this morning, Steve?
Well, Faye Dunaway admitting to her diva behavior in a new documentary called Faye, but also revealing that she was recently diagnosed as being bipolar. Dunaway says she also has caustic universal neuropathic tremors, or see you next Tuesday for sure.
Oh, dude.
Oh, my God.
Seriously.
Incredibly hot golf goddess Paige Sporanic being offered $250,000 to prove she has nipples. Well, to be honest, I'll throw in $50 for proof of a vagina.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you believe that? Wow. And finally, seeming to confirm a split with Jennifer Lopez, Jennifer Garner was seen visiting ex-husband Ben Affleck in a rental home he recently moved into. Apparently, Garner's attempting to help Affleck out financially, by offering him some work performing maintenance on her pool.
I'd like to apologize to Jennifer Garner and her pool boy, Ben Affleck, for incorporating them into my fantasy life.
And that's your Hollywood Trash.
All righty, we will see if you know the answer to this question. What color does Steve believe that everyone poops? 215-263 WMMR. Caller up is Tyler. Hey, Tyler.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
All right, bud. We're looking for an answer. What color does Steve think everybody poops?
Purple.
Purple. You got no idea. We're going to set you up with a pair of Maurice Piers same-day ride and water park combo tickets. It is this week's big friggin' deal. For a limited time only, you can get a same-day ride and water park ticket to Maurice Piers for just $70. That's a $50 savings per ticket.
Awesome.
For unlimited rides on 3 piers and both water parks for a whole day. And you can get this exclusive offer while supplies last at WMMR.com/deal.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Hey! Brought to you by A.D. Moyer Lumber, trusted expert since 1939. A.D. Moyer Lumber is your professional source for decks, windows, doors, kitchens, millwork, and more. Visit them on the web at admoyer.com. System of a Down frontman Serge Tankian has unveiled the new single and video. It's called AF Day, a previously unreleased track from the band's early days that will appear on his forthcoming EP Foundations this fall via Gibson Records.
AF Day?
Yeah.
Day?
I'm not sure what AF stands for. Tankian says that the anthem reflects the angst and anti-authoritarian attitude that he had harbored against conformity in those formative years. Kicking off a massive year, the new music accompanies Tankian's debut memoir, Down with the System, and a U.S. book tour hitting New York this week with Los Angeles next week.
Another effing day.
Another effing day. Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of a sunshine day. Another. I would like to hear the Brady sing Another Effing Day. Those rays. So
Another effing day.
What's more, the artist will reunite with System of a Down for a highly anticipated sold-out headlining show at San Francisco's Golden Gate Park August 17th. Tensions have reignited between Bad Wolves and former singer Tommy Vext, with the band serving him a legal notice claiming he violated their 2021 settlement's disparagement clause.
Bad Wolves.
Vext accused an unnamed person of sending, quote, defamatory messages about him, stating they chose to send a threatening letter via a lawyer instead. The notice references a clause barring Text from making negative comments about Bad Wolves or posting negative content, which he appeared to flout by sarcastically promoting a, quote, Bring Back Tommy t-shirt.
Oh, no.
He's now reached out in an online video begging fans, saying, guys, whatever you're doing, don't go buy this shirt right now. Don't buy it. I just got a letter from Bad Wolves saying that they're going to sue me because of this shirt.
Don't buy this shirt.
Meanwhile, the feud follows Vext's recent arrest related to an alleged domestic violence incident, which his former bandmates made comments about.
Stop and think about how stupid that sounds. Please don't. They're going back and forth over this nonsense.
Yeah. And then one last story, and this is sad news. The music world is mourning the loss of John Wasaki, the founding drummer of the band Stained, who passed away at the age of 53, surrounded by loved ones. Though the cause was not disclosed, he had reportedly been facing liver issues.
Oh, man.
His former bandmates from Stained and Soil paid heartfelt tributes. Wasaki rose to prominence, co-founding the rock band Stained in 1995 before exiting in 2011. After nearly 2 decades, he had continued performing with the group Lydia's Castle until his untimely death.
I don't want to presume, but did he have drinking issues?
Don't know. I mean, it may have been that. It may have been some kind of liver cancer, but I don't really know. But nonetheless, he's gone at 53, which is too soon. All right, and that is what we have in music news for you this morning. We will take another break. We'll come back and get the letter of the day for the Word of the Week prize. We made that concert announcement, The Killers, Saturday, September 7th, Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Tickets go on sale Thursday, and we have a 4-pack of tickets we'll give away for the Word of the Week prize. Stay with us because we'll have that first letter up next.
Call me, I've got news you can use.
straight up. She's going to tell you
Straight
everything.
up. Straight up, man.
You straight up call her now.
She'll tell you where she had her nose done.
And you should, because opposites attract.
Call 1-900-909-1800 now.
Call me twice and I'll send you an autographed picture.
You and Paula together. Just $2 the first minute, 45 cents each extra minute. Kids ask your parents' permission. Paula's on a rocket to stardom.
Call me now and find out why.
Pick up the phone. Call 1-900-909-1800.
We're watching the video. She was hot back in the day, man.
What if you called her up, though?
Yeah, what do you want?
Yeah. Look.
Paul, I'm a big fan. Yeah, great. You want a picture or what?
All right, here is here's another music one for you guys. Here we go.
Audio Entertainment presents Warren.
Yeah, we like to rock and roll. We like to do a lot of other things, too.
Call the Warren.
Yeah, we like to rock and roll. We like to do a whole bunch of other things, too.
Like what?
Like, I don't know, like walk around, eat food, look at TV sometime.
Yeah?
Sleep. Yeah. It's the Rock's lifestyle, man. My buddy has a car. We'll drive around in it.
A car?
Yeah, car.
Kind of car.
4 wheels. Steering wheel. Got it all, man.
All right, let me play it from the beginning.
Manual windows, CD player. Not at this time, right?
Not at that. It would have been a cassette player.
Record player?
Yeah.
Back seat, it skips a lot because, you hit bumps.
All right, here we go.
Audio Entertainment presents Warren.
Yeah, we like to rock and roll. We like to do a lot of other things, too.
Call the
Yeah.
Warren.
We like to rock and roll. We like to do a whole bunch of other things, too. Just unless you think we're just very narrow and just do rock and roll. We do our banking and stuff, too. Grocery shop.
Yeah, we like to rock and roll. We like to do a lot of other things, too.
Call the Warren Rock Line.
We'll give you the warm, hard facts on our personal lives. Our fans always.
Warm, hard facts. Just like our units, like our penises.
Yeah.
Come first.
Just $2 the first minute, 45 cents each additional minute. Kids ask your parents' permission. You'll get the latest on tours, videos.
And what town we blew up last.
Call and hear a new message every day.
What town we blew up last?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Hang on.
And what town we blew up last.
Call and hear a new message every day. And learn how you can leave your personal message for Warren.
Or anything else you've got on your mind. Call us and find out what goes on behind tour bus doors.
Oh, let me tell you, last time we blew up, New Haven, Connecticut.
Yeah, we like to rock and roll. We like to do a lot of other things, too.
And they probably made a ton of money off their 900 number.
Last town, Little Rock, Arkansas, man. Blew it up.
Wow.
Well, it's actually still there. It's just figurative speak. People, that's some of the stuff we do other than rock and roll.
Figures of speech?
Yeah. Actually, my father burned down his carpet business for insurance money. I don't even know why I just said that. That would be in the list of other things we do besides rock and roll. We make huge mistakes that will send our family members to jail. That was stupid. Learn about more stupid things we do by calling that number.
Oh, my God.
Call it twice and I'll let you know what happens behind closed tour bus doors. We're sleeping. Because been on tour where we blew up Little Rock and New Haven. I guess I'm sort of in a loop here. I should have written down some notes. Initially, this had a whole thing.
Little Rock and New Haven?
You blew them up. Don't even look for them on a map, man. White them out. Warrant.
Yep.
It's a shame about your dad.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake.
The inventor of the vibrator actually heard a voice that said, if you build it, they will come.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Wow.
It's like Field of Dreams.
I know. It's just like
Field
that,
of
isn't it?
Screams, Preston.
Same thing that ended up happening with this particular thing we're about to do. It was a dream we had. The dream has been realized, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the Brickyard 500. In the corner of the Preston and Steve studios stands a track that is ready to receive racing apparatus. It is called the Brickyard, and the 500 comes from the $500 in cash that we're going to be giving away. All right, Nick is on location at the track, which is about 8 feet away from where I am right now.
We can see him from our vantage point, which is 8 feet away.
You guys are up in the sky booth.
Yes, we
How
are.
is the weather trackside, Nick?
That's beautiful out. You should see it from down here, Preston.
Yeah.
It is gorgeous out, and
You're close. You're close to the track, and I got to say, I have to imagine it looks pretty spectacular from where you are.
perfect conditions for racing.
Yeah.
All right, so let's meet our racers if that's cool. We're going to start with our first one, and then we'll explain how the race is going to happen. Let's go and meet Aaron. Hey, Aaron, how are you?
I'm going to race the Duracell Pink Nightmare today.
Oh, my God. Now, let me tell you something. What I'm looking at there, if I was into this stuff, I'd get that sucker. That looks like it does everything.
I'm fairly certain this will break concrete.
Hey, Aaron, is that a jackrabbit?
It's something, all right. I have a jackhammer. I don't know.
All right, nice to go. All right, and let's meet our lone male contestant this morning. This is Michael. Hey, Michael.
Wow.
How you doing, man?
Hey. From Newtown Square, and today I'm riding the Purple Pocket Power Pen.
Purple Pocket Power Pen.
Purple Power Pocket Pen.
Now,
Purple Pocket Power Pen.
It's really, the fact that you can say that quickly is pretty impressive. Yeah. Preston, do you know the story? They are one and only male, and we said, you know, the question went out, do you actually use this? Well, I'll ask you, do you actually use this?
Yes, I do.
Is it used in the back door?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We got
prostate stimulation.
Okay.
Oh!
We don't need all the specifics on that.
To be honest, I wanted to know too.
Yeah,
I wanted to know too.
Okay.
Why don't we talk to the next contestant?
All right, let's go to our next contestant. Our next contestant is the lone anonymous contestant, and she's actually wearing a mask. We have a stormtrooper helmet on.
Yes.
Did she bring that, or is that ours?
I think that's ours, and we want to welcome Miss X. Good morning, Miss X.
Good morning, Gadzooks.
Gadzooks. All right, and tell us a little bit about what you have there. Do you have a name for your vehicle?
This is the Powerful Purple Rocket.
Another purple
And just letting you know, this is my mask.
This is your
mask.
Okay, fair
You're
enough.
a badass.
How confident do you feel in winning this race?
I think this thing's pretty powerful.
Okay.
So I think this is going to be no competition.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Rachel.
Hi, everyone. My name's Rachel.
Nice to meet you. And
Hi.
Rachel, what do you have there? What's your vehicle?
I call this is what I came for.
This is what I came for. That's a perfect name.
I like it.
I don't want to handicap the race, but I think this one is going to come in dead last.
I think so too.
Because of the shape of it.
It's not.
It's not designed for racing. It may be designed for pleasure, but
right. It may not go anywhere. We'll find out in just a moment. And then last but not least, our final contestant is Valerie. Welcome, Valerie.
Hi there. My apparatus is the purple banana.
The purple banana. And purple
seems to be the color of self-violation.
4 out of the 5. Purple.
Yeah.
Nice. What we're gonna do is, I tell you what, ladies, start your dildos. Ladies, start your dildos. Are the racers ready? Yeah. All right, Marissa, in 3, 2, 1, let's go racing. And they're on their way. Wow, one has jumped out. Nix, whose is that?
That's the middle track, race number 3. That's Miss X. Oh, no, it's Michael.
It's Michael.
The lone man. Oh, the abomination.
Oh my God, the man way out in front.
The giant pink one hasn't even left the starting line.
He's just sitting there spinning out of control, not moving at all.
Michael's is almost
He's
to
almost
the
to
end.
almost to the end, almost to the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, from race number 1, we have a winner.
Oh my God. And let me tell you something
Okay.
here. They laughed when they said, oh, a guy's going to be a part of this.
I know.
They said, hey, really?
Yeah.
And remember, we were mocked. We were actually, people would point to us when we walk out in public.
Yeah.
You're actually going to let a man in this. Dominate.
All right, are all the racers ready?
Yes, indeed.
And 3, 2, 1, let's race. And they're off.
Oh, it's a much closer race.
Oh! Michaels is headed out to a huge lead. I can't see it all, Nick. You're going to have to describe what's going on.
Michaels is out to a big lead once again, Preston, although there is one in the lane number 3 that has been catching up, but it looks like Michaels is inching closer to the start-finish line, or to the finish line, I should say. I believe he's going to take number 2.
Valerie looks like she's in second place there.
Heat number 2, once again, goes to Michael.
Oh, he is dominant.
It's on 93.3 WMMR 1979, 10:37. As we are wrapping up today's program, a Monday morning. Pretty painless for a Monday morning, I think.
Yeah, it kind of zipped along.
Yeah, I enjoyed today's show, and the weather's cooperating wonderfully. We're going to go up to like 80 degrees. We got summertime this week. It's great. Tomorrow's 84, Wednesday 87, Thursday possibly 90 degrees.
Stop and think about the bulk. What was it over the past when it was the 17th? it had been cloudy and or raining for 14 days.
So we were at an outdoor event yesterday.
Yeah.
I just knew it wasn't going to rain, but I didn't check any of the forecasts or anything like that. And I wore jeans.
Yeah.
And I wore a T-shirt, but the sun came out and we were sitting outside in an open field. And I'm like, I am hot, man. I mean, like I was sweating and the whole deal. Like I was not expecting summer to all of a sudden appear. But we haven't had any sunshine.
I know. Yeah. Well,
and I'd forgotten how wonderful
the joy
it is.
of sunlight.
Glorious.
It's like you're like Superman floating in the, when he gets when you in the Zack Snyder Man of Steel, a second reference today.
Yeah.
When the sun hits him on his face.
It's
right?
beautiful.
You just you come alive.
But down the shore, so here on Friday, 85 degrees, partly cloudy. Down the shore, we're looking at in North Wildwood, 71 degrees. And mix of sun and clouds.
I love it. It's perfect.
Yep, we're all over it. I would like to thank Mr. Daniel Stern for being on our show this morning. So many great movies that he's been in: Home Alone, Breaking Away, City Slickers, and
Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year. Was he a rookie? Yeah. He was one of the players, right?
Yeah, one of the pitchers, yeah.
Yeah. So he is celebrating his new memoir, which comes out tomorrow. Home and Alone, and you can get it through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and more. And he said that a portion of the proceeds go to the Boys and Girls Club, which is really
excellent.
Cool. Yep, so I'm sure he's got great stories to tell. We need to do a letter of the day. And Casey, do we turn to you for that?
I got you.
All right, here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
The Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by the letter
B, as in beach.
All right, and we are going to give away tickets to a 4-pack of them, by the way, for the show that we made the announcement for just a little while ago, The Killers. Saturday, September 7th, Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Tickets are on sale Thursday at 10 a.m. That's through Ticketmaster. But if you go to WMMR.com, you can get a pre-sale password, which is good for Wednesday, and another chance to win tickets.
Ooh.
Make sure you go to WMMR.com for that. Thank you to our fine sponsors. The Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by Dunkin', and the Preston and Steve Show runs on Dunkin'. Also brought to you by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors, and by Hershey Park. Hershey Park is calling your name. Save on tickets now at HersheyPark.com and visit this weekend. Tomorrow on the program, Tuesday, so we'll give away some fresh ink. It is Tab Tuesday. And we're also going to talk to Greg Kinnear.
Greg Kinnear, yes.
So
he's got a new movie coming out.
He will be on the show, and we'll get the coolest teacher from Radnor High School, and we'll pick another one, and we'll just keep this week moving forward until we hit North Wildwood on Friday. That's it. We are done. Rage on. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow, gang. Bye-bye.